Mike on the 18th?
On the 18th. Hey, everybody, we're live. Sorry about that. On the 18th, what 18th?
There's a queue for a live UFO undercover.
Oh, yeah. So I'm glad you brought that up. Welcome to News on Flipside, everybody. You'll get to hear some promos in a minute. But since Sean brought this up, Michelle DeRoche was coming to spend the day with us on UFO Undercover. So I've been on her ass for a little. Well, it's hard because, she hosts a show right after us. So it's 4 hours for her. And I said, well, we do it every Friday.
I
so
did 5.
That's what I'm saying. So she's going to come hang out with us on December 18th for 2 hours. And it's going to be open mic, open topic, whatever anybody wants to talk about, we're going to talk about. So we can just chit chat and roll along and how you doing and what's up and don't slap your mom and stuff like that. Destiny, the reason it is Michelle's the station manager. Yeah, she's the boss.
The most loveliest lady in the world. She is so nice and kind and loving.
What do you mean I'm the boss? No. Okay. No, I own it. She's the boss. No, I'm sorry. She's the boss. Yeah. No,
I'm joking with
it's,
you guys.
It's the way the network was set up originally. We brought her on as a station manager. Well, she'd been on the station for 2 years before I offered her the job. Yeah. It wasn't like it was just out in the blue or something. I said, hey, what's up? And would you like to come take care of this nightmare? So I had some free time to do some other stuff. So she does. And it's growing steady. I mean, every time I turn around, there's another new show on the network talking about this, talking about that.
Yeah.
What's that, Jimmy? So free airtime is not as easy to find as it used to be. There's just really not any slots. I mean, maybe in the wee hours in the morning, there's just not any slots. And now, because of other hosts in the network, all the hosts pay in one way or another. Either they pay directly themselves, or they pay through sponsors, or there's other venues. But still, we got to stay on the air, and it's not cheap. Let me tell you what. But if the damn thing ever starts making a real profit, nobody ought to pay. But anyway, time slots are hard to get. So I get people all the time ask me about Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday nights from 10 to midnight. Okay, Tuesday, 10 to midnight is not a bad slot. You're not going to get it for free. But because of Sean and CL and I forgot his name now. Shame on me. They produce about 1 million listeners that night. So it's potential whoever ends up with the show at the end of the night, it could end up with 1 million listeners. But CL is doing around 340,000. So you're going to have that no matter what when she ends her show. It's just a matter of keeping it. So, it's hard to just give somebody that. Now, if you're talking about after Michelle on Wednesday and Thursdays, well, her shows range from anywhere from 2.7 million to 3.2 million. I'd say we're not giving that for free, and it's not even going to be for cheap. No, we would rather leave them empty, let our own reruns play there. Yes. It's, well, I mean, if you want to negotiate, you can talk with Michelle. She knows what the head price is, and she can negotiate whatever she wants. That's one of her abilities. But just so you know, she used to run an oil company. That's just that ahead of time. So, she might be a little tough.
Jumping off of, she may run an oil company again. So that would be good.
Yeah, she's been on TV quite a lot. She doesn't really do TV anymore. She doesn't. I don't know. She kind of got burnt out on it. Mm-hmm. Hey, Mark. Well, you know what? You can ask her on the 18th. You can come and ask her. Well, Joe Davis is supposed to be joining us tonight. I haven't heard back from him yet, but hopefully he'll be joining us soon.
Hey, Richard.
Hey, Rich.
What the hell just sent me this? Oh no, that's what we were talking about on Jeffrey's show, Betty Page.
Yes, that was a good show.
Somebody just sent me some nudies of Betty Page. Well, thank y'all. Wow, I can't be looking at them when I'm doing here. I get all distracted and forget what the hell I'm talking about.
She was an attractive lady. No question.
Let's see. How do we? Let me see. I'm about to send Leah an invite. I keep forgetting. She got her new fancy dancy laptop now.
Oh yeah.
What's that, Bruce? you'll get to hear somewhere along the line. You're going to hear promos, and commercials, and music and stuff like that. Well, there's actually an intro for the song. Jay's going to play it in a few minutes, actually. What? Who won? Wait. Okay. Just deep breath.
What?
Okay. So Kamala Harris won Pennsylvania. Well, tell me about that. I just heard Fetterman today whining
call
and
up the election maps again. I thought we were done with that stuff.
Oh, what? So you're saying he only won by 0.5%, 2,000 votes? I think he won by more than 2,000 votes.
Oh, he won more. Yeah.
I mean, I know in Atlanta. I mean, like in Georgia, he won by like 200,000, and
all right.
Biden only won by
who's
10.
This person you're talking to, Joe? Because I don't want to hear about Pennsylvania no more.
Let's see.
Did you see, what's his name?
This is Carl Rosin. He is from Philadelphia.
Well, he's well, I'm from Pittsburgh, dude, so deal with it. He won. You didn't.
Yeah. Well, no, he's saying he's pro-Trump. He's just saying that a lot of the Democrats' new argument in Pennsylvania is that Trump only won by 2,000 votes. So therefore, I'm telling you, it was by more than that. I would have to go look and see, but I'm pretty sure it was by more than that. Yeah, it was a pretty handily win. I don't think it was a questionable win. That's why it wasn't a recount. Yeah,
Casey conceded, man. Casey conceded.
Oh, cool.
So McCormick's the new senator.
Yep, there we go. He's a red bee, not a. I was going to say a blue bee. He's a red bee. It's Well, look, I mean, we've been all watching Trump's picks, and we're going to talk about that a little later in the show. We're going to be talking about who Trump's picking and who Trump's not picking. Am I glad to see that Gates guy go? Yes, I am.
Gates, yeah. I mean,
I expressed concern about him last week with the guys.
That was such a setup. That, honest to God, was a setup.
It might have been. It might have been a way of getting his ass out of trouble with whatever he's in trouble with.
Well, he got that girl, Biondi, whatever her name is.
Pam Bondi.
Oh, she's good.
Oh,
she's going to be tough, man.
Former and
it's funny. It's funny. The head of the DNC said today, he goes, he said to the Senate Democrats, he said, "Oh, well, don't you wish they would have stayed with what's his face?" Gates? Yeah, he said, "Don't you wish that?" Because I said, "I think y'all are in trouble now." Because even the Democrats are saying they're going to probably they're bitching about her, but a couple of them have already said they'll go ahead and probably give it a confirmation without any trouble. So I mean, she's gonna be hard to deny. I mean, it's what she does for a living. I mean,
but here's the deal, though, dude. Here's the deal. She got picked, so Gates is out, and he'll come back, and she'll hire him as a DOJ.
Maybe it is possible, but right now,
I think Trump made the best checkmate move ever. With that move,
well, Trump's good at this kind of stuff. I mean,
he's run and lost several successful and terrible, how horrible not successful businesses. So he kind of knows what he's doing. And if you run the U.S. government, or at least if you approach the presidency from the outlook of being the CEO of a company, and you've done that, I think you'd be a better. I said it way back in the 80s. Way before I knew you guys, when we had, was it Ross Perot going up against, I think Bob Dole and Bush? Was that the election that he screwed for everybody? He was such a flip-flopper. He flip-flopped on almost every issue that they asked him about. And then every time they asked him if he was running for president, so I'm in, I'm out, I'm in, I'm out. And then like the very last second before you could say you're in, he was in at the very, very last minute. And then I think he just got enough votes to draw them away from Bob Dole, and Bush won. Had he not done that, had he won, I think we would have seen that a businessman is better than a lawman or a lawyer. But also, I mean, he put on a stigma on businessmen by screwing the pooch for Bob Dole, who probably, even though he was a Democrat, I think would have been a better president than Bush.
Okay, well, we're going to take some breaks right quick. Jay's going to cue up the intro song here in a minute.
Yep. You want to hear the whole thing?
Yeah, we're going to play the whole thing. So we got a couple of little promos first. and then we're going to get started. So welcome everyone to News on the Flip Side. I hope you are having a fabulous evening. If you're a Trump supporter, I know you're feeling good. And if you're not, well, I'm sorry. It sucks to lose. I know. We've all lost at least once in our life, so we know it sucks. But anyway, here we go, guys.
Hi, and thank you all for joining us today. We are broadcasting live on the United Public Radio Network and the UFO Paranormal Radio Network.
The Church of Mavis Radio Show, Friday nights at 8 p.m., 7 Central, starring Jeffrey Pritchett with his co-hosts Wham and Jay McNicholas, right here on the United Paranormal Radio Network, UPRN 107.7 FM, New Orleans.
Tune in to UFO Undercover, Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern, with your host, Joe Montaldo, right here on the Paranormal Radio Network.
All right, Jay, play it.
Propaganda machine, you feed the propaganda machine. Power feeds it, media owns it, social stage airs it. The propaganda machine, you feed the propaganda machine. We breathe, breathe. Wake up, wake up.
Oh, and welcome back to
Oh, does it keep on fighting? I didn't know that. My bad.
well, welcome back to News on the Flipside. I hope everybody enjoyed the intro song. We're gonna have to ask him at the very end to say welcome to News on the Flipside.
We can see if you can change that, but it's difficult.
Well, it shouldn't be, but you never know. I'd have to look at one of the other computers, see what kind of editing software I have. I know in this one I don't have anything. Welcome everybody. Welcome everybody in Messenger. Welcome anybody coming in on any of the YouTube things. I haven't tried the UFO Paranormal page yet, but using the Flipside pages are up and Rumbles are up, and you can get us on YouTube on UFO Paranormal Radio I'm on YouTube. I'm sorry. No, I knew you were going to ask that. So, a guide extraterrestrial.
So, what did they ask you?
so they asked it's why it wasn't up. So, God's what is it? I don't even know the damn name of the damn station anymore. God's extraterrestrials. Anyway, it's got a strike from one of our former hosts. One of her archives got us a strike. Yes, it's for medical misinformation. Yes.
Oh, so that's why I couldn't set it up for my show.
Yes, it was your girlfriend that got me to strike, by the way.
How long has she been off the show? She's been off for over a year.
I know. It was wait a minute. It wasn't even that. Yeah, it was a show from 2023.
Wow.
Don't ask me, buddy. Every once in a while, they just go back and find a random show and say, hey, guess what? Boop. Well, that's how the other one was. The first one that caused all the riff, that was another one that was like 6 months old or 4 months old.
Wow.
So I don't know what's going on with it. It's more than likely somebody reporting it. And so whoever you are, you can.
Well, I know she has no ill will to you, so.
Well, I'm not worried about that. I mean, her and I.
As far as we know.
Jenny and I didn't have a problem. I mean, there wasn't a problem there. So, and I've always wished her well. I mean, she's got a network, and I've told people about it. I said, I hope she does well.
Yep.
It's
Oracle.
Well, Bruce. So, I've been doing radio for 26 years, and in that time, we have what we call incarnations of host. Right now, we're on our 6th incarnation of host. So every so often, we start turning host over. And then we get to a whole new group of hosts that will stay anywhere from, like Jeffrey's been with us for over 10 years.
I've been here for 9.
Yeah, so,
I've been here for 5.
So we get these long-term hosts and everybody's doing well. And present company included, everybody's shows are doing well. But sometimes people for different reasons go to different places, or they retire and decide, or they come back and they go do something on their own, or some of them just feel like they can do their own stations better, which that's, last I checked, we live in a free country.
Yep.
Well, she's just the latest. Everybody else I know that's done it has failed.
I've always said, Joe, that we live in a country where we have the illusion of freedom, but it's so well hidden. Nobody knows.
When it's funny because when I first started doing radio is easy to do when you're doing 8 or 9 shows or 5 or 6 shows, and you're only putting out specific venues. But when you do like what we do, it gets really expensive really fast. I mean, I'm not going to get into the details, but I mean, it gets really expensive really fast. And sometimes, somebody asked me the other day, I was talking with Michelle about something. Somebody asked me the other day, I said, well, how much are we spending? I said, you really want to know? And I was like, they were shocked. They were just like, I said, it's expensive. It's not what you think it is. To reach the kind of audience we reach, it's not cheap. That's just part of doing radio. It's not us. It's everybody. Everybody who does radio has to spend money to get to where they want to go. Yeah.
Yeah, and most radio stations, they have so many promos and have so many different local businesses that provide them gifts and things for their giveaways for free advertising space. That's how they make, that's how they produce money for their to keep going. There are some radio station DJs here that have been around. The guy I listen to now up here, he's in Hagerstown, which is like 20 minutes away. I used to listen to him back in the 80s in Rockville when he was on DC 101 and in 105. He was on like 5 or 6 different stations. He's been on, the local ABC news station. So he was like a local celebrity. When you get a good DJ who brings, he's a morning guy, so he has to wake you up. If he brings good stuff to you, you listen to him every day. He gets good ratings and they keep him going. This guy's been around 40 years. God, I hope I've been on the radio 40 years. It's hard to find, that kind of, just on air talent, whether it's video or radio or both, which we're doing both radio and video.
Cammy, actually, the station wasn't a for-profit station until about 3 years ago. No, really, it was a 501(c)(3). That's what it was. The station was. So I run a research organization, a pretty big one, and it's been around for a while. It's been around for longer than the station's been around. And I used to get invited on Coast to Coast and other places to speak, and which was great. And I could put out information as I got it. But I realized when I was offered to host Wake Up USA, I realized truly having our own network would be much easier when I needed to get out data. To get it out quickly. So today I have big audiences on 2 of my shows. So actually 3 of my shows. And when I'm talking about stuff, that it gets out pretty fast. I hear stuff that we talk about all the time, floating through the news, floating on different places throughout different fields that we're doing research in. And you hear our material. And it's kind of funny. And sometimes we get credit for it and sometimes we don't. But I guess that's just part of being in it. But I needed a place I could do that and relying on, how often you're going to do Coast a year, 2-3 times. And that's if you got some serious stuff you want to talk about. If not, maybe once a year or once every 2 years, depending on what you're doing or what your research is doing. I needed somewhere where not only could I put the information out, but I could talk about it and bring on guests if I wanted to and talk about it. And come to conclusions about data. So, now we have.
I'll tell you what, Joe, since I started on your platform, dude, I've learned so much. And I'm not kissing your butt because you're the owner of the station. I'm just saying.
Because I'm scary looking.
No, I'm just saying I have learned so much.
That's a great compliment, though. I appreciate it.
Jay's like a fucking encyclopedia, man.
I know, man, but the only thing I have a problem
he's like my own personal Alexa, man. I just say Jay.
Well, for most things, I mean, especially the subject matter we deal with. I mean, like I said, I found out about this stuff during Hurricane Agnes. I was 6 or 7 years old. We had no power for like almost a month, and there was nothing to do. That my parents' basement flooded, so we had an indoor pool. That was pretty neat. But when you're done swimming and there's no TV to watch, no radio, nothing at all. I mean, no media, nothing. There was like a couple of boxes of books my dad saved, and I started looking through them. And he had Mein Kampf, another book on the history of the Third Reich, which I actually read that one. And then I found Chariots of the Gods. I didn't read that one right away, but I looked through it and I saw a little rock with a gear. Like a carved, like the gear you would see inside of a watch. And I was 6. I knew about watches, and I thought to myself, why would people 5,000, 10,000 years ago, whatever, why would they carve a gear into a rock? And that kind of intrigued me at 6 years old. And then at 10 or 11, I saw a movie, like what's it called? Peter Graves. It was the announcer. Was the
fucking alien in him, man? That's just all
yeah. But anyways, from that point on, like 10 years old, 11 years old, I started researching this, and I just so many things that I found out were rumor or not rumor, and some things that were
anybody that wants to know anything about Star Trek.
Yeah,
there's Jay, man.
I'm going on that one.
So Rhonda from Pittsburgh is writing in saying, "Where are you from in Pittsburgh?" You just put Rhonda from Pittsburgh. I mean, Pittsburgh's kind of a
Shawnee's from Pittsburgh.
I'm from Pittsburgh.
I'm in Waynesboro. He's
you know what?
Well,
So anyway, well, down south people are stupid. They think Pittsburgh is the state and Pennsylvania is the city. So you got to correct them every once in a while.
Are you serious?
Like it did serious.
Yeah, but the real truth of the matter is that country stupid is the same as city smart. It's the same.
That's from giving y'all what's his name, the quarterback. He got it ass backwards when you come down here and tell everybody. Yeah, I'm talking about Terry Bradshaw.
Bobby Brister too, dude. He was from Louisiana.
But anyway, they're saying is this going to be the Seinfeld show, and I'm like, what do you mean by the Seinfeld show?
Seinfeld.
Yeah, because Seinfeld never talked about anything; they just did whatever.
Oh yeah, it's a show about nothing. So yeah, it's a UFO show about nothing.
Actually, no, we do have some serious topics, which
I guess I would be George Costanza.
Old George. George was kind of funny, man. I mean, he was kind of funny.
Yeah, he was.
He was funny in a neurotic sense, though. He was the most neurotic of the four.
Yeah, he definitely was.
Yeah.
No, Mike. No, we got.
I'm getting ready I'm getting ready for Santa Claus season coming up.
I thought about it myself this year, but I had to cut it back for something else. So, because mine will get like Snow White. Yeah, Ginger, I get Snow White, man. I look like Ho-Ho. You mean what's the longest I've ever grown my beard? Oh. So Linda used to bitch and tell me all the time I look like Grizzly Adams because I let it go all the way up from here, way down to here. It was like, I look like, and if I took a brush and just brushed it out, the bitch would flop out. It was insane.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man. It was insane.
Most of us over 30, we know
that's why they call them sweet
under
catchers.
30, they might be like, who's been Grizzly Adams?
Popcorn catchers, real quick, and then we can, I guess, start. I was eating popcorn at work at one time, and I was for lunch, and so I get home that night, and I'm about to wash my hair, and so I comb my beard, and honest to God, all these little popcorns came out of my beard.
Oh yeah, man, you get all kinds of shit in that thing. Well, there's other uses
flavor
for
savers
beards,
for nothing. I mean, it's for real.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying there's other uses for beards, but since this is only an R-rated show,
it is.
It's
it's an NC-17.
It's more like it. It's more like an R slide right up against the edge.
Too much, or you put too much condiments on a cheeseburger. If you have a mustache,
I'm not putting a condo on it.
Mustard particularly gets really sticky in there.
I'm not even going there, brother.
I'm just saying. I mean, why would you put that on your hamburger? But anyway, we're just gonna. If y'all don't know what I mean, we're just.
There's all kinds of ways to murder a hamburger, man. All kinds.
Oh my God! Yes, my virgin ears. Damn.
Okay, I know half of y'all are going. What the hell are these guys talking about?
Clearly, we're all hungry.
You know that thing you can blow up like a balloon. That's what we're talking about. Putting on Jay's hamburger. Yeah, I can encapsulate in this hamburger with it.
Oh my God. That's worse than
have an imagination, people. Anyway, and gentlemen, you should always use a condom if let's not have crazy babies running around.
And there are quite too many.
You know what, guys? Figure it this way, ladies and gentlemen. If he uses a condom and so you don't get pregnant, then you don't have to hear me bitch about abortions. See look how well that works, man. Mm-hmm. Yes, because you know how I like to bitch about abortions. Oh, yes, it's one of my favorite topics.
Or approve for the FDA to test some of the drugs they're using in Europe that the men are enjoying. They do the same thing for the women, but the men tend to use it more.
Yes,
you know what? My luck, I'd probably have a set of twins if the situation occurred, and I'm just like too old to have twins.
You know, too old. My dad was he was 55 when they had me. He was 60, 62, 63 when he had my sister.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And he was a good dad too. But because he had a family before us. So, because when he met my mom, my dad was a pervert. We're not going to get into that, but he was 55. My mom was 17. We're just going to leave that alone. Back in those days, that was fine and acceptable behavior. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, and old guys, that's not acceptable behavior today.
Well,
That's what the guy had to give up the job for today.
Would you like to hear a nice piece of Hollywood trivia?
Sure.
Remember George Burns, guy who played God?
Yes.
Yep.
All right.
Played all kind of crazy shit.
I believe he was 89 years old. He was very old. Married a 21-year-old. Had a child with him, whom I believe was a boy. And then he died.
Oh,
89-year-old, 21-year-old. Imagine that. It's
it makes it hard when you're older, because my dad died when I was 16, so nobody wants to deal, and right after my 16th birthday. It was just a few days, so it's nobody wants to have to deal with that shit. But still, you get a much different dad. So, and I know this for a fact. Any kid I was to have anywhere in the last 10 years would have been much different than my son I have today. Because one, I frankly know more, not just about raising kids, but more about life in general. So I would understand the methods of making sure they got a different kind of start. Because when you're young, I was 23 when my son was born. Like, come on, I was an idiot. I was running like a madman. Somebody should have shot me with a dart and said, "You sit down, idiot." Jesus.
You were in the Navy, weren't you?
Yeah, but I was still in at the time. But
plead insanity via U.S. military.
It's what's it? Filipina? Where you're from? Filipina? Like Mars or somewhere? Where you from? Europe or somewhere? No, really. Where are you from? No, we'd like to know where people are writing from. Iowa. You had a name like Filipina, and you're from
Iowa.
That's where Captain Kirk is from.
Well,
I'm not. Here we go again. Star Trek shit. You know what, guys? I'm telling you what I'm going to do. Maybe my ADHD allows me. I am going to read the Encyclopedia of Star Trek.
Oh, that's pretty good.
And I'm going to come on here and I'm going to blow you all out of the water. But
all right.
Oh man, it's on now. It's on.
But when I'm going to do it, I don't know.
We're all still pretty young, so. So what is it, Filipino? What do you? We talked about this a little bit Wednesday, about the hearings, and frankly, I just personally don't really feel like we got much out of it. I feel like someone was blowing smoke up my ass, basically.
Oh, everyone, you asked me my opinion. I was not at all surprised. Nothing's going to come of it. I was like, I'm not enthused in any way. Even hearing. I
will say one of the only good things I can see out of this is since this hearing and the last hearing, it does seem like 65% of Americans now believe that aliens exist. Now wait, don't get all happy. They don't mean that means they think they're here. They just think they exist. When you ask them if you think they're here, it's about 34%. Yeah, so the world's still not ready to know aliens exist.
I was going to ask your opinion on that hearing, dude, because you were very vocal when they had the other one.
Yes, and we were on Wednesday. It's and anytime you want to, just stop by. Wednesdays are like this one. It's always an open show. Just stop by. It's okay. Or hit me with a text or something, and we'll drag you. Well, you can get in. You have access to the station. It's this hearing was just, it was like the other. Okay, we had some decent witnesses.
The one previous to with David Grush, I do believe they talked about ATIP, but they didn't present any of the video or signal or telemetry evidence. This one, the congressional hearing, seems to have added to evidence into this hearing that signal and telemetry data, like the videos, the IRs, the FLIRs, all that stuff.
Oh, and I'm glad you brought that up. Okay, so the one they call the fast mover?
Yeah.
That's supposed to be skimming right, they debunked it.
Really?
Oh, really? What was it?
They first off, they said it was flying at about 1,000 feet above the water. Well, no, they debunked it, but they never said what it was. Yeah. So they basically went, oh, that's not real. That's not real. Okay, what is it then?
Yeah, why is the radar?
Remember, we're talking about a fighter jet that was cruising along. Yeah. So,
well, the radar data alone on that one is that it's bouncing off of something solid. Something is making that signal, that radar signal, bounce directly back to the radar, giving it directly a height and all the dimensions it needs.
But it was 3 different agencies came out and said that no, it's not. It's an illusion. It's not what you think it is. But they didn't say what it was. They just skipped over that part. All they said is we pretty confident. They said high confidence, and then there was 2 other famous ones that they also debunked. And I was like, well, this is interesting because these cases have been around for a long time, so there was no real need.
2017 or 14, something
yeah,
like that.
well, all 3 of the ones I'm talking about are probably from 2000 to 2018, something like that. And then, but these now they're debunking them all now. So we got the Congress thing going, but we're going to start debunking these videos. Okay, what is it? Which way are we going here? Are we looking to get evidence that we can debunk it? Is that what we're trying to do? Is we're trying to collect evidence so we can go to debunk the evidence?
Evidence that proves that they don't exist? Yeah, good luck.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of weird where they're going with this, but they're not going to intervene if Putin launches a nuke. They're not. Did they help us at Chernobyl? I mean, people always ask me. I said, look, you do the aliens like you do any human on the planet. You judge them by their actions. So, did they intervene on 3 Mile Island? No, they did not. Did they intervene on Chernobyl? No, they did not. Did they intervene on Fukushima? No, they did not. Near Nagasaki or Hiroshima, they did not intervene. That's 5 nuclear disasters on this planet that they were basically, well, who cares? It's humans.
Yeah,
it'd be like if you killed a bunch of pigeons. It's our own stupidity. I mean, you're not going to really feel bad. I mean, they're not going to feel bad because we're too stupid to understand how to use nuclear power. It's a, but the point is they haven't intervened. They have gone and stopped screwed around with nuclear bases before, but they haven't did anything. Well, I mean, I imagine they have the technology to just nuke. I mean, just to melt the cores, probably disintegrate them. They could probably do them all at one time if they wanted to. So,
or they might even not have to destroy the missile, or just they might be able to have. I'm sure they have some type of energy beam or some sort of deactivating technology. Just they deactivate the nuclear core of the.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. Something that we just grab the core and melt it down.
Well, not necessarily. I would say they just somehow deactivate it. I'm sure they have a technology. They collect the neutrons from it. Like in Star Trek. Again, they collect them from the nuclear carrier to fuel their spaceship, which is broken in San Francisco.
Karen
I love you guys. I love you.
Karen Horselhoffel, I think I'm pronouncing that correct, who is from Colony, Florida. Well, hello from Florida. That's the East Coast, right? Yes. Yeah. All right. So, what can we do for you tonight? Oh yeah, Jay's a sexy beast, man. What can I say?
Thank you.
What's your question? Or what's your spout? Oh, well, wait. Why don't you like the blonde? I call her Blondie. Well, every time I hear her name, we're talking about the new Attorney General. Yes. I'm sorry, the Pam who may be the new Attorney General.
Yeah, she hasn't been confirmed yet. She's an appointee.
Well, you can't call her cute because she's like 58 or 59. Women at that age, cute is not the word. Sexy maybe might be all right, but cute, no, that's not where you go.
Sexy. I would call her sexy.
That's like if a woman calls me cute, I just look at him like, what are you on crack?
Yeah, she's 82.
No, I'm serious. But I mean, no, I mean, personally, I think she's going to be fine. Yeah. I think she's going to really take care of Trump's agenda, and I think anybody gets in her way is going to regret it. You know who I think, and I'm
Condoleezza.
You got it, buddy. You got it. Give him the golden rod, my friend. I think she has the potential of being the new Condoleezza. And God help you idiots if she does, man. Because you going down. I heard it today. Well, I really think the Russia needs to be investigated.
Hey, Joe Fox.
Hello, Joe Fox. I do. So, I'm liking what I'm hearing out of her. Kelsey Gabbard. I did not know she was on the terror watch list. Did y'all know that?
Who? Pam
Kelsey
Bondi?
Garrett. Kelsey Garrett was on some agency put her on the terror watch list. I'm like, God, she's a terrorist.
Oh yeah. No, I
Oh
knew
yeah,
that.
yeah.
So what's her job? In charge of NSA or CIA or something? What the hell? I have to
What's
go look
one
at.
is?
But anyway, I mean, I
But
like Kelsey. Plus,
you know
Kelsey's
who else?
hot,
Yes, she
so
is.
she's
She's
intelligent. She
old
made
too.
short work of Harris. Y'all go look at when she ran for president.
Oh my God, ripped her
Kelsey,
apart.
yeah, Kelsey just bitch slapped her down like she wasn't cackling that day. No, I
Well,
think she'll do good.
you know who's cute though. We can say cute is that new House speaker, the
Yeah, she
little
looks like
blonde
she's
hair
going to be all
girl.
right. So
Yeah.
while we're on all of this, so now I should not say this out loud. For all of our black listeners, put fingers in ears at this moment. Um, he needs to get on getting some black people in his cabinet. I mean, they helped him win this. They've turned against a good chunk of their people to be backing him. I think he needs to show appreciation. I do think he's going to turn the economy around just like he did last time with the lowest black unemployment ever in history and highest wages. So I think he'll get that going, but he does need to have
Isn't
representation in his cabinet. Now I thought he picked one yesterday or today for oh shit, I forgot the position,
I
but
thought he
he
had
really
Ben Carson.
well, I haven't heard what he was doing with Ben Carson yet.
Hmm.
So and I know I'm kind of with you, Filipino. Ben Carson's really just a white person. He just with brown skin. That is racist. You know you can't say that. Jesus.
Oh man. No, but you're right, Joe. I
Please
do believe
show
he
up the
should
roast
put
Dave.
a black person on the cabinet. I personally think he will.
Now, before anybody writes to me, I've always been a hard ass on you don't give someone a job because of their sex or their color. You give them because of their credentials. So by saying that, there's lots of black people out there that can easily do a good job in this cabinet. I would like to see take that little Montgomery girl from
Yes.
Alabama and put her somewhere in the cabinet. Well, not in the cabinet, but in the sphere of the cabinet. Well, because it's not just a cabinet. There's a whole lot of other stuff that goes on around it, and I would really like to see that. What do you mean, Candace? What's her name? Candace what? I don't know if she could do anything. Somebody wanted to make her speaker. I mean, give it a Jean Paris job. What is her name? Candace Owens.
Candace
Oh,
Owens.
yeah,
Candace
that's right,
Owens.
Candace Owens. I don't know.
Maybe she don't want it. Maybe
No,
she.
Candace wanted it. She actually the one who brought it up. Now the other chick, I don't know, but Candace actually brought it up. And the Montgomery girl speaks good. We played her clips on here before. She is on target. She knows her stuff. But she did say, and Trump did say he would help her. They want to start a new organization in Alabama, I guess, to bring more black votes in. So maybe that's where she wants to serve. You never know, people. Sometimes you don't want to get into DC. Nah. It's DC. Do you want to get into DC? I would rather not get into DC if I didn't have to.
As cities go, it's not that bad. But I wouldn't want to live there.
It's one of the more dangerous cities.
Joe Fox wants to know
if you know which places to avoid, it's not that dangerous.
Joe Fox wants to know who was Biden's mop head.
What happened to Biden's mop head? Kamala Harris? I don't know. She's in the limelight now.
I haven't heard that name in a while.
Yesterday's news.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of her, she's in Hawaii right now on vacation.
Living it up.
She just couldn't take it anymore.
I wonder what the liquor bill is going to be on that vacation. And that's on our dime, lady.
I think they just give her an open bar and say, just drink till you drop, bitch.
On taxes, they take from us every day we work.
Now, she's loved, Jay. Now she's loved, and they're going to give it to her for free because she is so loved.
She is
She
sexy and
brings
hot.
joy.
Yes,
She brings joy.
she is cute. I
Joy.
wouldn't throw her under
Anyway,
the bus.
He's still
You know?
smitten, Joe. I thought we cured him of that.
it's Greta. I'm sorry. It's no, I don't hate Kamala. I just didn't like how she got the position. See, what do you mean, Trump? Trump is just going to do the better job. Come on, look what's already happened. So he gets elected within 5 days of him taking office. Down here where I live, food prices have dropped 14% and gas almost 50%. And now, wait, before you try to give Joe Biden credit for this, two of the big oil companies came out and said, no, we're helping lower this now in anticipation of Trump's arrival because we know he's going to help us in the future. So they're actually going to take, instead of, because when they switch over seasons, it usually costs us more. So they're going to actually absorb that this year and give us the break because Trump's going to be president. Now, Lazinski and Putin have both said that they think Trump can fix this war. Not Hamas. Or which one was it? The day Trump won, said, "Oh no, we won peace." The ones who attacked Israel, the day he took,
they were on like day 3 or 4. Day 1, Putin said he's ready to talk peace talks for Ukraine, and then on like Wednesday night or Thursday that next day, or during the week, Hamas said we want to talk peace. But that was only right after they were kicked out of Azerbaijani and those peace talks. So they were more afraid of not talking than getting killed by the Israelis.
Because Trump pretty much said the same thing Reagan said. Oh, I can't stand her, Joe. He said the same thing Reagan did. If we don't have our hostages by the time I take office, guess what the fuck is coming? Yeah. Hell is coming to you. We're bringing hell with you, and you're going to wish that you gave them back because you think the Israelis are fucking your world up. You don't have a... Go ask, you know what? Go ask the Iraqis what happened to them.
We gave blankets with chicken pox and smallpox to children.
What?
You hear about
that? That was the war.
In the Indian Wars, we were like trying to get rid of the Indians. We gave out blankets with chemical and bacteria and viruses.
During the 30s and 40s, we gave syphilis to black people.
Yeah. Oh wow, I did not know that.
Yeah, we're a sick country sometimes.
The U.S. government did some pretty heinous shit. Pardon my French.
It's
I mean, we dropped 2 nuclear bombs on people. I mean, that's pretty.
Well, the nuclear bombs. Look, I hate to say it. Japan had that shit coming. They should have never attacked Pearl Harbor. They were doing some
pretty heinous shit as well. Pardon my French.
They should have never attacked Pearl Harbor. They should have. I don't know what the hell they were thinking. And I still remember when that admiral said we woke the sleeping dragon.
Admiral Yamamoto that said it right after we attacked? He's like, I fear we have awoken a sleeping dragon.
That's what he said exactly.
Sleeping giant.
And then they asked him why he will not attack Americas because behind every blade of grass, somebody has a gun.
Yeah.
See, that's the problem. Occupying America is not like occupying other countries. It's hard.
They did have a legitimate plan to either get Midway or Hawaii. Not Hawaii. Alaska. Had they gotten Midway, they probably would have gotten Alaska, and they probably would have kept it.
No, we didn't nuke them.
So we blew them up.
We didn't nuke them. We just stick the Canadians on it. Them fucking Canadian fighting beasts, man.
Canadians were on our side during that time. Yes, that's true.
They're still on our side, right?
Yeah, on our north side.
they Canadians don't know what the hell they're doing right now. I'm not even sure if they're military. We've been keeping so much of our military around there. I don't even know if they know they got a military anymore. We don't trust Trudeau, and Trump can't stand Trudeau.
Yeah,
he thinks he agrees he should go back to Cuba and become whatever down there, president of Cuba. I've said this before. I don't know why we haven't annexed Cuba already. It's inside of our intercoastal waters. It would be well within our rights to annex it. And we should.
Why?
Well, it used to be because of the Russians, but I don't even think the Russians give a shit anymore. It's and the Castros did, and Raul Castro, he's not Fidel. and he's going to die pretty soon. So his granddaughter, I think, is taking over, and she wants to bring. She said she wanted to apply for statehood.
And I
but
think
we
they
won't
will
give her
give it to them.
statehood. No, we won't give her statehood, but we will give her Commonwealth. I don't know why. Of all the ones, what are there? 4 Commonwealth, 5. Out of all of them, I would think Cuba would have been the best one to make a state. But I don't know. It's funny. You know what it is? I think they just don't want to add a star to all the flags in the again.
Well, yeah. Well, then they'd have a problem with Guam for another, and Midway. They both have been trying.
They'd have to bring them all in. So we'd have to add 5 stars to the flag. It would just be a big pain in the ass, man.
Well, I mean, as long as you add an even number at the same time, what's
50 stars now, 55 stars. You're like, shit.
Well,
personally, I've always said this.
It's a row of 4 and a row of 5 and a row of 4 and a row of 5. So I mean, as long as we keep the flag it's symmetrical, let's do it.
I've been preaching this to the millennials and the Z-Gen no more of giving back territory. So anytime America goes to save something or get something, we should keep the territory.
Yeah.
Make them a Commonwealth or make them something, but we shouldn't get the territory back.
At the end of World War II, Japan, that all of what is Japan now should be ours. Probably most of Southeast Asia.
Oh, they showed the world map after World War II. America had control of 76% of the world. If they would have kept that and did what MacArthur asked with Russia, we would have took Russia. We'd have nuked Moscow. We'd have took Russia. And then we would have controlled 85% of the world. Today, we would control it all. It would be a one world government under a democracy,
and
under a republic.
At that point, we might actually be more friendly with our, friends from way far away.
I think we would be. I think it would make them feel more comfortable.
Depends on how heinous the things that they're doing to us are.
Well, I think also what it depends on is what kind of government we end up with. One day we will be a world government. But will it be a communist world government?
Or a socialist,
will it be a democracy? Will it be a republic? Will it be a socialist?
Maybe it'll be a socio-democratic republic.
Yeah. So we just don't know what it's going to end up being. And what is the Federation? What kind of government is it? It's supposed to be a free government. So they always say a democracy, but I don't think that's exactly what it is. The question's been asked
before, especially on UFO Undercover. What do aliens have a god? Do aliens have a religion? Well, who do you think gave us those concepts?
Yeah.
Well, they have to have those. Even if they don't have like an active government in the kind of a sense of a government we know of government being, they have some sort of ruling system.
Jay, if you go back into the archives and listen to my last show, I had a dude on about UFOs in the Bible. Mm-hmm. Listen to it. Listen, okay. You'll get a lot of answers. You'll get a lot of answers to your questions.
Cool.
Okay, let's see. Oh, what happened? I thought I lost y'all for there for a second. That was weird.
No, I think you froze for a bit.
Sean. Somebody got Sean. Oh, guys, I think the aliens got Sean. Either that or one of them poltergeists.
No, he's there. We were just talking.
I'm here.
We just thought we lost you for a minute. So next week we got John Goodwin joining us for the first hour. So we're going to be talking about the Hollywood parade, since they helped sponsor it and set it up and everything. And so we'll be talking about what they're going to be doing. He's going to bring some pictures with him so we can see the Hollywood parade. So y'all get ready for that. And then, of course, we got some other stuff we want to talk about afterwards. And then the following week, which I believe is December 6th, we're going to be talking about Jesus the man, not the God, people. So I'm going to post this probably tomorrow so people can get their stuff ready for it. We're not doing Jesus the God. We're doing who was Jesus before he became the king. How's that? That's how I'm going to write the thing up, or whoever writes it up, whoever gets to it first.
My God, you're going to have
the historical Jesus rather than the mythological Jesus.
Oh my God, you are going to have all the theologians. You're going to have all the different types of religion. Listening to the show.
Now, look, I'm telling you now, people. If you write in and call in, you better be talking about things about Jesus before he became the king.
And don't come at us with any nonsense either.
I have no problem believing with Jesus. I'm not saying he wasn't. What I'm saying is we're discussing the person, the human being that was roaming around and wandered around in the desert, went missing for a while.
Roaming around because it was in a Roman times when he was roaming around.
And we know that there's pastors that's talked about him. I mean, not pastors. We know that there's governors in different parts of Rome talked about him. We know there's other emperors and stuff that have talked about him, request his presence.
Yes, he was married to Mary Magdalene.
Roman consulate name, or the guy who's in charge of the area, Pontius Pilate. So there are some.
We're going to look at the fact that he had to be married.
He was happily married to Mary Magdalene.
Well, we're going to look at that too, because you can't be a rabbi without being married.
What Sean said.
Yeah, you can't be a rabbi without being married.
Absolutely, he was married to Mary Magdalene.
So we're gonna talk about that and some of the other stuff, and then people don't get upset. We're not hating on your God. We're just showing you. There's a lot of people. So a lot of religious people tell me, "Well, you just can't prove he existed." Well, no, you can prove he existed. He's one of the few mythical people that you can prove existed. So we're gonna help bring this. We're gonna help. I don't know how long this is gonna last. Maybe an hour, maybe two, but however long. But we're gonna bring this to the people so you can understand that this person who sacrificed was actually a person, just an everyday person going through life like everybody else does. You need to know who he was. It's one of the first things they taught us.
If you look at it, I'm sorry for.
No, go ahead.
But if you look at the Bible, right, they talk about Jesus from when he was born up to the age of 12. And then there's that big gap between 12 years old and he came back in and he was 35 years old.
And then there's a big argument about 30 to 40. How old was he actually when he died?
The range is 30 to 33. And his birth date is somewhere between 6 and 4 BCE. Do the math. So the maximum he be is like 37, maybe 40 years old.
Yeah.
Well, that's what most people say, but the Bible makes him younger.
Yeah.
But it seems like when you listen, but when you pay attention to what's being said and what he was doing, it just doesn't seem like he could accomplish most of that in that short of time. Because when I was in Catholic school, 33, he was dead at 33.
Correct.
And I was like, wow. I said, well, are you even old enough to be a rabbi at 33? I don't think so.
I think he'd be a rabbi at age 18, as long as you're married.
Yeah, but he wasn't married at 18, that's for sure. He didn't get married until later on. Probably was in his late 20s or early 30s. So he had to be older. He had to be at least 40, because if he was traveling like they said he was, he had to have been traveling for 10 or 15 years, and 10 of those would have had to have been with Mary Magdalene, which also means there's got to be kids floating around somewhere.
He had one daughter.
Sarah.
He had one daughter.
Sarah.
Yep.
And
Sarah means princess in ancient Judaism.
But the St. Clair's think he had 3 kids.
What is the Holy Grail?
It's not Holy Grail. It's San Grail. It's Sangre is blood. Sangre. Sang, and then Real. Sang Real, the royal blood.
Okay,
or the bloodstone.
That's the Holy Grail. That's Jesus'
Holy Grail.
blood.
Yes, sir.
Yep. It's not a damn cup.
It's not a cup.
It's his blood. Nope. The bloodline.
It's his genes. It's a genealogy.
Yep. And then the argument is which bloodline is it? Because Sinclair's tried to say it was theirs.
That's what I think. What a lot of the wars of Europe were, like the Plantagenets say it's them. What's the other one? The ones that the Merovingians say it's them. There's several different.
Yes. But anyway, that's enough. That's enough about that. We don't want to give too much away. So, guys and girls, on the 6th of December, come by and check it out. We'll be talking about that. And be prepared. Don't get hateful, because nobody's going to be hating on Jesus. We'll just be talking about it. Well, okay, real quick. It depends which one you want to believe. The one kid is the most popular view, but there are at least 5 or 6 others where he said he had 2, 3, or 4. The Sinclair said he had 3. 2 boys and 1 girl.
At least 3, but the only one known to have survived any kind of Roman occupation is Sarah and Mary Magdalene. Supposedly they got up to somewhere in England.
Oh,
Sorry, that's the dog. let me let him out real quick.
Well, dog means God incarnate, so you better be nice. Get your ass off the planet.
Right. Well,
What do you mean? What I mean God incarnate? Dog spelled backwards is God.
Yep.
Oh, you didn't know that, huh? Oh man, just slapped you right upside your damn head, didn't I? Oh shit. Most people don't, even though it's clear when you look at the word. Most people don't, and a lot of people are just scared to say it. Yes, because they think they're gonna get.
I got something even better. And some people have heard this, and some people haven't. But if you haven't, there was a guy who was an atheistic, dyslexic, and narcoleptic. He doesn't sleep well at night. So what does he do? He stays up and contemplates the concept of dog.
Hey, yeah, I think that's something.
What? Okay. All right.
Dogs are weird because in the Great Cataclysm, when the Earth was splitting in half, and the humans jumped across cataclysm to the other side, the only animal that followed them was the dog. All the other ones stayed on the other side. Yeah, well, because dogs are loyal to us. And again, dogs spelled backward as God. And the way when dogs are treated right, they're just sweet, loving animals. They give you big eyes like, oh, God, I love you. And that's why we say God incarnate. It's God's way. It's a little piece of God watching your ass.
The word you. Dog, they can't really determine a genealogy for the word.
Yeah, I know. They've talked about that before.
Really don't know where it came from.
Somebody's probably being paid over $100,000 just to figure out that.
More than likely, there was somebody had the word God written, and it got twisted or something, and they said, "Well, dog," and then there was probably a dog there, and it just became dog. It's probably not even nothing nefarious. What is it, Peter Pumpkin Eater? Yeah, we're not going there. I'm sorry. I'll behave. What do you got for us? Where are you from? Sydney, Australia. Hello. Happy Saturday over there. How you doing?
How's it going?
How is life treating you down there? Where are you from? Queensland? We talk about Queensland all the time because of Pine Gap. Oh, yes.
Yeah, Pine Gap.
Oh, yeah. We know about you. We know about you Australians and your secret space projects.
We saw a secret... Not what I guess you call it, an energy beam that you guys shot, or we shot from your airspace into outer space. It was neat. Thank you for that.
Well, I mean, Peter, if you want to send me, go ahead. You can send me a list of his pics. I don't have one in front of me. I was looking at one earlier, but I don't have one in front of me right now. Well, if you want to send one over, send one over. If not, one of us will find one.
What are we looking for?
He's talking about Trump's pics. All of his different cabinet picks he's made so far.
Let me see if I can find a list of that. I bet Google has something.
Marsha Gates, how are you? Why do I know that name? I know that name from somewhere.
Marsha Gates? Well,
yes,
she related to the Gates in Congress?
I don't know. Where are you from? Washington State, huh? Ooh, I don't know if I want to talk to you or not.
There's our buddy Eugenio. Hey,
you Washington people scare me. I don't know.
It's an actual list.
So what do you got?
Eugenio says hi. It's tough, but I'm going to try to keep my troll comments to a minimum. Thanks for the show tonight.
Okay.
Thanks, man. Hey, check this out. This is what you were asking for. Trump cabinet picks. It looks like it's gotten pretty long. So,
that's right here.
Chief of Staff Susie Wiles, Secretary of State Marco Rubio, Attorney General Pam Bondi after Matt Gaetz. Bye. Let's see, Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche. I have no idea who that is. HHS. It's a Health and Human something or other Human Services.
Yeah, Health and Human Services.
Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Good for him. Office of Management and Budget Ross Voigt. UN Ambassador Elise Stefanik, Border Czar Tom Homan. Who's that? I hope he's a cop.
So stop for a second. You know what czar means, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That means they don't have to go through.
The opposite of czarina. It means king.
Yeah, but that means they don't have to go through Senate hearings. It's not a cabinet position.
Oh, good.
It's an assigned position.
Dude, he is so hardcore, Jay. Honest to God, man.
or a law enforcement of some kind.
Well, no, he was with ICE. He worked his way up through the ranks. So he was doing an interview yesterday with CNBC, and they were giving him shit. And he was like, "She's you're gonna be separating families." He said, "No." He said, "It's up to them." He said, "If they're here illegally, and these kids came here illegally or got here illegally, and the parent's legal, the parent can stay and the kid will go, or the parent can go with the kid, and as traveling with the child until they can come back as a legal citizen." He said, "But right now, that's not what we're looking for." They kept going on, and he said, "No." He said, "Listen to me." He said, "There are 2 million people already on the list that's supposed to leave already." He said, "There's at least another 3 million that are here that are prisoners and this, that, and the other thing, terrorists and stuff." He said, "Those 5 million need to go." He said, "Then we'll talk about the other ones." He said, "But right now, these 5 million are a threat to the United States and need to go." And he said, "If you just can't understand that, or you just don't care about your country enough to, and then she didn't know where to go after that. It was kind of like, oh, well, he kind of bitch slapped her. But anyway,
here's a question about that. Okay, if say like they go against the Venezuelan group, right? And Venezuela does not want them back. Where is he going to put them?
He's just going to drop them off the side of the road. So that's your freaking problem. It's
But wouldn't we have a problem with Mexico on that?
Not if they're illegal bad people. We're not, if they're bad people, they're not getting to stay. And if they do, they'll find their asses in Guantanamo. They better watch out. Because we're not. It's the 2 million that are already going sent back. They got to go no matter what. These people are just really bad people and cannot be in our country at all. And the other 3 million are pretty damn bad people, cartel members and stuff like that, terrorist members. And remember, it's not just South America people we're talking about. The majority of the 5 million we're talking about are not from the Americas. They're from the other side of the world.
China.
And not some. There's some from China too, but they're all over from the Middle East and places like that. And we just don't need those kind of people in our country. And a lot of these that are from South America are released criminals that they said you can go if you can go to the United States. You can't be here anymore.
Yeah, get out of the country.
So they can go back to their country. They go back to their country to go back to jail,
or they get executed.
Well, they get executed. So we're not going to have a problem with that. They're criminals. They're criminals.
Hey, if you're trying to avoid a lawful conviction against you, yeah, more power to you. Get the fuck out. Well, pardon
okay,
my
so
then
let's see. Pete Hackensack.
Swear jar.
I know, It's Pete Hackensack. This is the guy who.
Well, this is a show we can swear on, though.
That's right. So he was a he was a major, wasn't he? Wasn't his highest rank was a major?
Something like
that. Pete, the defense secretary. Pete Hackensack.
I don't know. Yeah, I have.
I think he was a major, and
most of these people, I'm not really going to know much about them unless they've been, on the top of the news, because since the election, all the news has gone back to dull stuff. I mean, it's not even fun watching anymore.
So but the list doesn't look too bad. Oh, there's Michelle Walsh. I hope she ain't related to the other Tim Walsh. Oh my God.
Well, it's not. It's spelled differently. A couple of unique ones though. Linda McMahon, Secretary of Education. You know who she is?
Yep.
She's the wife and/or former wife of Vince McMahon, who started WWF, WWE, and all that fake wrestling stuff. And Lori Chavez DeRaymer was I think the most recent one that I heard of. But wow, there's quite a few more.
Oh yeah, he's done it. I mean,
yeah, he's been busy.
There's the CIA director right there, John Radcliffe.
Oh, yeah.
That's a good thing.
National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard. Oh my God. There's your Condoleezza Rice right there.
No.
Tell him. Pam might be Condoleezza Rice. If Tulsi can do it, I'll be happy too. But I don't know if Tulsi got quite the kahunas.
Director of Intelligence. That's a pretty powerful position right there.
Yes, so is the Attorney General. We
can have two Condoleezza's. I don't have no problem with that. Might be some kind of. Oh shit, that could be a fantasy, man. Oh my God. Well, I've always had a thing for powerful women, man. Oh God, two of them at one time.
General,
Condoleezza. Oh my God, I can have all three. Oh my shit, I could have a heart attack.
Let me ask you guys this: the U.S. ambassador to Israel. Why do Mike Huckabee get that? What I mean,
Because Mike is a sweet, nice guy, and he was a good governor for Arkansas for 2 terms. I think he was a senator before that, or a House rep or something. And isn't
he just recently like a TV personality now?
Yeah, I think he was. And his daughter is governor of Arkansas right now.
Oh,
she's hardcore, man. She's hardcore.
She is. But when she was Trump's press secretary, she was hardcore. She did not play. She would have whooped that little Gene Krieger around like it wasn't shit.
Who? Vivek Ramaswamy.
Yeah.
That's the guy who's working with Elon Musk.
Yeah, the Department of Government Efficiency. Elon Musk.
Yes, this is another czar position. Okay, these are czars. Yeah. They're not going to be. They're not cabinet members. So, in case you didn't know, now a lot of the blue media is saying that Elon Musk is really the vice president. That he talks to Trump far more than J.D. Vance does, which is probably true because he's far smarter than J.D. Vance is, even though I like J.D. Vance. Elon is Elon,
Yeah.
He's the god of rockets. He said, I'm going to go meet guy.
Well, that's quite.
I got to find that map. So they showed Elon's satellite configuration coverage by what is it? What is this? By 2035. Oh my God! There's no way you're getting a nuclear weapon nowhere around us. They were just. I mean, there's going to be literally thousands of these things. At least 60,000 of them. Well, you better hope he's not that bad guy from Moonraker. I'm just saying. It makes me a little nervous sometimes. He's up there working his way up into the world. No, he can't be president.
Even if he isn't now, we have enough weapons floating around up there that he can collect them and gain control of them, and there wouldn't be crap that we or NASA could do about it. That's the honest truth. If he were to go Drax and use his technology right now, he could take our SDI satellites, gain control of them, and point them against whatever targets he likes.
He's probably got something better than that up there himself.
He may already have something of his own design,
or maybe that's what these satellites are for some
why build your own when you can send up enough rockets so quickly that you can put enough manpower up there to take control of all the other satellites that are already available, right?
Stephanie, we're talking about there's a James Bond. Roger Moore was the Bond. It's called
Moonraker. Is the name of the.
And this guy's a billionaire who decides that his way, he wants the perfect. He's like Hitler, basically, is what he is.
Mm-hmm.
And he starts he builds a moon base, and he builds a bunch of space shuttles, and he picks all these great, good-looking people, with the exception of Jaws and his girlfriend, and he hauls all their asses up to this moon base, and then he makes these big. What are things? What shape is it? But anyway, he makes these big things. He's going to fire down at Earth, and they're going to shoot a virus all over and kill everybody.
You're talking about like glass spheres that spit out viruses. Yeah.
No, they weren't hex. I forget what you call it. Whatever the shape was.
The satellites, they spread out. It's like, as I recall, they were like little glass balls that.
Yeah, they just spread out across the planet, and then they were going to go in and then burst and then spread this disease all over the place.
Yeah.
And kill everybody. And then after however long it takes to clear the planet, they were going to come back and re-inhabit the world and make it a perfect world.
Well, isn't there a show called The 100 based off that?
Maybe so. There's a couple of shows out there that do this, like 44 and a few other ones.
Yeah.
Another 100. They grabbed 100 people from Earth, put them up in space, and then when all the bullshit ended, they put them back down on Earth.
Mm-hmm. Problem is, they have a really healthy population, like the one we have today. You're going to need 4,000 or 5,000 people. It's no, and I mean, you can do that. I mean, we can easily put 5,000 people on the ground and keep them. We can probably put more than that, but in a nuclear war, it's going to take a lot longer than 50 or 60 years for it to go away.
Yeah, 50, 60, 70,000.
Christina, if it's 20 kiloton raw plutonium nuke, anywhere from 10,000 to 100,000 years. Yes, it's not going away any faster than that. You can go dig it up now. If it's other types of yields, it could go away in a few years, or if it's a neutron bomb, it could go away in 2 years. It just depends on the yield and the type fusion that they're using. Well, plutonium comes in assorted flavors. How you like that?
So does uranium. U-238.
Well, so does, and there's cobalt, so it's not, well, see, that's what we're talking about. There's at least, we just talked about 3 fissionable materials just now. So, yeah, all of them can make bombs, and some can make really nasty bombs.
Yeah.
50 kilotons. 50 kiloton would flatten the majority of New York City. And we'd probably go 10 or 15 miles into New Jersey just with the radiation blast.
I don't know if you want to talk about it now, but I would like to talk. What did Ukraine actually shoot into Russia, and what did Russia come back with?
So they shot the Ukrainians shot a Shadow missile, whatever they call it, Shadow something.
Yeah, it's called
the British.
It's a stupid abbreviation of attacks or something like that.
Yeah, it's a British missile, and they shot more than one of them. They shot 5 of them, and they landed in different places or got knocked down. And one of them happened to hit Vladimir Putin's house. I don't think anybody was there. As far as we know, none of those 5 missiles hurt anyone. So then Russia said, "Fuck you," pulled out an intercontinental ballistic short-range missile, hypersonic missile that does Mach 7, and launched it at their ass. It's a medium-range nuclear weapon, but there was no nuke on it. It was just traditional head, and launched it at him, saying, "Look, we will fuck your world up. You can't even. There's no way you can even shoot this thing down."
Yeah.
But then, even though they said there's no way to shoot it down, it looks like something may have hit it and separated the head and the missile, because it looked like it just fell on top of a house and didn't blow it up. Because when you're talking about a minimum range nuke like this, or a missile like this, yeah. So the head should have been a pretty big explosion. But not nuclear explosion, but it should have been whatever they use. I mean, that could be a 500-pound, 5,000-pound. I mean, there's no telling, but it should have been enough to really do some serious damage and level a couple of buildings and shit.
The footage of it kind of looked almost like it was sort of an energy beam, because you didn't see the missile. All you see was the flame out the back, which was strange, because then the flame disappeared at the same time the explosion happened. So it didn't match up. I was watching and I was like, how come it's an energy beam, but the explosion happens way before the beam hits? And like, oh yeah, it must be a missile.
Well, I mean,
you just said that these were British missiles, but everybody is saying that they were American.
No, they haven't used American missiles yet, and I don't know why they keep. And I agree. I've heard several media say it is, but there were British missiles that were launched, and they haven't actually launched the American missiles yet. And you would have known, because Putin would have came down in America, but he didn't. He came down in Britain. He told Britain some serious shit today, like, "I will blow London off the face of the planet." And matter of fact, he went as far as saying, "I can level your whole, blankety blankety island, and there won't be no more Brits left." And he was being serious, because he can. He has the ability to do it. 4 or 5 strategic nukes areas, no more Britain. Ireland, Scotland, it's all gone. Poof. He could drop 100 nukes on there, and they would be like, holy shit. Matter of fact, he could launch 100 nukes he could launch 100 MIRVs, which means they have multiple warheads, and just rain literal hell on them. 100 missiles could drop 1,000 warheads. What the fuck are you going to do then but kiss your ass goodbye? You're going to literally sit down, put your head between your legs, and kiss your ass goodbye.
England is so close, they don't have enough warning.
Yeah, they would never get them shot down in time, especially if they were using hypersonic to.
No, it wouldn't get them shot down fast enough, and they wouldn't get the cities evacuated quickly enough. Maybe some people could get out, but not.
They could fill that tunnel up, the one that goes to France. They could fill it up with people and then close the doors on it. And I don't know how many that would save, but that's not going to save Scotland and Ireland, and all of them are gone. Just adios amigos. So I mean, this is a dangerous game people are playing right now. Russia's military may be not what it used to be, and may be easily defeatable, but it does have a nuclear arsenal of 5,000 missiles. Well, he's got 2,500 on warheads and 5 sitting on shelves, but the missiles are still intact, just like we do. We have pretty much the same stock. in the same setup. So if he truly wants to, he can truly wipe out anybody he wants to. And Mark, I seen what you posted earlier. So we're talking 10,000 nukes between the United States and Russia. All together, I think there's like 12,000 nukes on the planet. Just 40 years ago, the United States and Russia each had about 12,000 nukes. So it does tell you we have been adhering to the thing and getting rid of them. Well, George Bush ended one of the arms things, and Trump ended another one. Well, because Russia was building short range nuclear weapons anyway. There was no reason to have a treaty. It was just holding us back.
Mm-hmm.
So we said, screw it. And we started building them ourselves. Well, for us, we don't really need short range ones. We're allies, with the exception of Cuba and Venezuela. We're allies with everybody else. And Cuba and Venezuela aren't really a threat to us. So
yeah,
we don't really need short range nukes.
We have enough. We can completely surround Cuba with metal. They would never get out.
Actually, I think they would. I think if you just said, "Look, Cuba, we're only going to tell you this one time," and then Havana's gone. Literally, Havana will be a thing of the past. You can surrender unconditionally, and the United States will decide your fate, probably make your Commonwealth, or you can die and become a conquered nation of the United States, and we'll decide what the hell we're going to do with you anyway. Yeah. Any way it goes, it's just the choice.
Yeah.
But the scary part about that is I'm scared if we do that, then they're going to want to take them little Haitian islands and them other little islands, and we're going to end up with all these little crappy little islands. Cuba's actually a nice place. I remember my dad and them used to go down there all alive, but he used to have these little take all these pictures, and they had this little thing you'd put on your face and you'd drop it in, and it was a card with two what do you call the little film things on them? You drop them inside and you would look at it, light would come on, you could see the picture. And he used to take thousands of these things. I used to love sitting there going through and looking at them when I was a kid. And Cuba was a really nice place back then. It was booming, kicking, nice, Yeah. Well, my dad was born in 1911, so I think he said he made his first million by the time he was a little younger than 30. He was 28. He was in the insurance business, and so I would have put been right around 1930, I guess.
No taxes, and the place was hugely popular. Sinatra and the Rat Pack, they all hung out there. Mm. Reagan hung out there.
Yeah, and so he would have been there like in the late
Trudeau
30s.
Was born there.
Trudeau was probably born there.
His dad was definitely living there for sure. Was his I guess she's his cousin, his niece, Trudeau's niece, which is Raul, his granddaughter, keeps saying, "Look, we've got all the evidence you ever need." They were here for 8 weeks when she got pregnant. What's his name was home in Canada with his girlfriend up there, and Castro was always hanging out with the baby. They were always going down there hanging out together. And then it's got in the book that Castro had already said it was his son and blah blah this and blah blah that. There's all kind of pictures of them together. It's well, she has something Castro's hair or something. They said they could probably do a DNA test. Yeah, see if it was really his. They look a lot alike when they were kids and when they were young. Oh man, they do.
It's uncanny. They look alike.
But there's so many people from Cuba who were witness to all of this and said it's all true. And then there are witnesses in Canada that also say it was true. So, and the old man never denied it. So it was probably true.
Yeah.
Well, Trudeau's an idiot.
Yeah.
Oh, so I love that new map they show. You know how they got the big red map with the little blue on it. So now they got Canada, and then it comes all the way down the west coast, and then it comes down a little bit down the east coast, and then dips down and grabs Illinois, and that's the new Canadian map, and everything else is the United States. So California would fit in with Canada. Just they could be Bobsy twins. And California would double their population.
Speaking of California, was it today or yesterday? I think it was Los Angeles declared themselves legally through their legislation.
Sanctuary City.
You idiots.
Sanctuary City. We love you, Los Angeles.
We need to like start looking seriously at the crime stats, particularly rapes and violent crimes.
Well, if they claim it, right, and Trump gets in, he's going to say no, no, no. But if you're going to keep it as a sanctuary city, we're not going to give you
Still,
no
2
freaking
months
money.
worth, or a little less than 2 months.
Actually,
Trump
Trump having the House and the Senate and the presidency, he can pass a federal law saying there cannot be sanctuary cities for criminals. If you're a proven criminal or proven to come here illegal, there won't be no sanctuary.
You don't cross the border, you're here illegally. Therefore, you're a criminal. Sorry, I don't care.
That's one of the things I like about that new guy. They're saying, well, the girl's saying, well, you can't do that to migrants. He said, they're not migrants. They're illegal aliens. They cross the border illegally. She said, no, they're just seeking asylum. She said, if they were seeking asylum, they would have went through the asylum ports.
For it.
Yes. Well, they got to asylum ports they could have came through, which are actually a little faster. But she said they didn't do that. He said they didn't do that. No, they came here illegally.
And we're not going to right away. There is a term, migrant worker. There are legitimate Mexican citizens who come across the border through the proper channels. They come across at the checkpoints, across the roads and whatnot. They come across legally to work in our fields and pick and do agrarian work. And then they go back at night.
They're construction workers too.
And construction workers too, yes. They legally come across the border through the proper, venues, whether walking or driving across border check lines, and they do their work and then they go home, just like anyone else who commutes. And there's nothing illegal about that at all. We're not talking about those people. Those people are fine. It's the ones who come across the border at night illegally with the intention of stealing a house.
All right, we're gonna knock out a couple of these topics right quick. Let's see, what did I do with them? Oh, there they are. Let's go see. There we go. Let's see. We'll start with this one. Elon Musk sets sights on struggling MSNBC. So y'all know MSNBC is up for sale.
Wow.
And from what I hear, yeah, it's true. And from what I hear, it's only $4 or $5 billion. Remember, he paid $44 billion for X. He might buy this raggedy piece of shit. Oh my God.
Yeah.
So they said it would be MXNBC. That's what everybody was saying on the news today. MXNBC. I was like, oh shit, that's pretty good, man. That's pretty good.
Pretty good.
It's like, no, MSNBC. They would crap. Can you imagine Rachel Maddow, Elon Musk being her boss? She'll be leaving the country. She'll be.
She'll quit.
She'll be gone. Oh my God. Well, Joy's, I think, is on. Oh no, yeah, that's two Joys. I get confused sometimes. There's Joy on The View, and then there's the Black Joy. There's two Joy reads. I get them confused. It's what's that, Jenny?
How about them? They had to read all these things on The View. I forget what it was. They gave misinformation out on their show. And the big people up in ABC said, you have to read this and kind of like apologize for that.
Yeah, because they're getting out of control. They just on their way.
What did Eugenio says here? The View and that lady with the legal correction was strange.
Oh, I don't think I know. I don't think I seen that one.
That was Sonny Hostin, man. Oh my God.
No.
Oh.
And then they got the big fat face. They say, so what's this one? Here we go. Here's another one. Moscow unleashes its new unstoppable missile. Holy shit. Kremlin said the attack with the new hypersonic ballistic missile on the Ukraine was intended to warn the West and that Moscow would respond to move by the United States and Britain allow Kiev to attack inside of Russia. We will use these types of missiles.
Now, let me ask you this question, guys. So Putin, if he really wanted to, and he wasn't afraid of Trump, he would have unleashed all hell on Ukraine, wouldn't he?
No, but we're going to talk about that just in a second. So y'all know that Russia called the United States and said they were launching this missile 30 minutes before they launched it.
Really?
Yes, because since it is a ballistic missile, they had to let us know because we could mistakenly have thought that was an attack, a nuclear attack. and responded in kind, then Moscow could have been going along with Vladimir Putin. Since God knows where we have us parked at the moment. Mm-hmm. So, well, the Ukrainians were bitching the other day because they thought they were trying to go after the sub, and then they realized it was an American sub, which pissed off the Americans, of course, because they gave away a position of one of our subs. The Russians didn't know it there, but the Ukrainians knew it was there. Now, what were we saying before I interrupted y'all? Sorry, guys.
I'm good.
Okay. So what's this one? So did y'all catch the Mike Tyson Jake Paul fight?
Yeah. What if I
had no interest really?
No, not really, man. I was like, come on, you serious? Tyson's old. He can't deal with that. Mike
Tyson and Jake Paul suspended from boxing after controversial Netflix fight. So what's funny about this is you watch the first 3 or 4 rounds, Tyson's pretty much whooping on a guy. And then you see though Tyson let some things slide. Like one time Jake overdrafted. Tyson could have knocked him out right there. It's one of Tyson's signature moves, as a matter of fact. Tyson let him go. There's a couple other times Tyson did, and Tyson was going steady ones, and all of a sudden they grabbed, and Jake whispered something in his ear, and after that, Tyson wasn't really trying to land any more punches. And there were several times Jake left himself open that Tyson could have just peeled him 3 or 4 times real good. He was still fast enough to do it. He just wasn't doing it. So it pretty much lets me know that it was a stage fight, just like any wrestling match. Neither one of them wanted to get hurt. And so they staged this fight. And now, of course, the boxing commission is pissed. Because what was it? I've heard he got paid for anywhere from $1 million to $21 million. So I don't know what it actually is, but it sounds like a nice chunk of money to go out there and dance around.
There you go, Jeff.
Jake Paul's a big guy too, man. I mean, he's not a little guy, but he's also not a professional boxer either. What's that?
Well, I don't think Tyson is anymore. He's retired, isn't he? I mean, so technically, he's not a boxer either.
No, he's done a couple of fights here and there.
Oh, okay.
I'll tell you what. Whenever MMA came in, boxing just fell off the face of the earth. Yeah. And I really enjoyed boxing.
Some of them are good matches. Let's see. Iceland erupts. The global impact could last centuries. So there's yet another volcano blowing up under an ice cap. So this is like 3 of them that's been going on and a couple of them are going on over the last decade. So all this stuff they blame us for, not all of it's from us. Some of it happens to be from volcanoes. Like the one in the Antarctica, they kept saying, "Oh, we're losing this, we're losing this, we're losing this," and it's a man. And the guy's like, "Well, there's not really much in the ice down here to suggest that the melt is coming from man." And then guess what they found? Lo and behold, a volcano, an active volcano. Yes. Well, I'm not. What do you mean, Jack? I'm not into global warming. Climate change is fine.
Yeah.
Because climate changes all the time. Well, no. I mean, think about our planet. When the dinosaurs were here, there was no ice on the planet. The oxygen was much thicker. There's a much heavier content of oxygen. Mm-hmm. Yes, well, the animals were much bigger. They needed it. The ratio is different today. There were more plants. People always talk about, oh, you get a lot of carbon, it's going to kill everything. Well, no, back in the dinosaurs era, there was a lot of carbon, and guess what? It was lush and plentiful. Because what does plants breathe? What?
Plant life too.
Yeah, because plants breathe what? Yes.
Carbon dioxide.
Sorry, people. So, sometimes you hear them say stuff and you're like, well, that contradicts what I've been taught in school. Okay. No, like I said, I believe in climate change. I'm just not a big fan of the global warming theories. Okay. Fastest moving stars in the galaxy may be piloted by intelligent aliens. New papers suggest. Uh-oh. We're getting serious now. We're thinking big fat stars flying through the galaxy are aliens. Hey, I'm not ruling anything out. I'm good to go. Archaeologist discovers oldest cave paintings ever, dating back how many years do y'all think?
15,000.
I'm right there with Jay.
50,000.
Wow.
50?
50.
50.
How can they determine that, Joe?
They
You have to age the ink that's put on the wall. The rock can be aged. I mean, you can age the rock, but it'll tell you it's 450 billion years old or whatever.
Yeah, well, I mean, different rock has different ages, but yeah, they use the pigment in the paint. Sometimes they can tell you by the pigment. Sometimes they know the pigment came from this kind of berry or that kind of berry, and they know the berries were here on the planet at this time. So that also even tells them, what time of year that the thing was put on the wall and stuff. So
that's crazy.
Yeah, they're pretty good about getting some stuff, but 50,000 years ago, we weren't even supposed to be doing none of that stuff then. They are so screwed up wrong with our history. It's not even funny.
Well, look at the Curse of Oak Island, all the history that they found that does not correspond with what we were taught in school. Now, my question to that would be, since they got the proof, can they go in and change the whole history of the New World?
Not really. I mean, just who discovered it.
Why not? Why I don't understand. I think
because let's look at this. We know the Vikings were here before anybody else was. I mean,
I know the Jomon people were here even before that.
Yeah. So, but I mean, the problem is Columbus always gets credit for discovering the Americas, even though he didn't actually discover America. He discovered South America. But regardless, he always gets credit for the Americas. Even though now we know beyond a doubt, I mean, we just found more Viking ruins actually older than the ones they found that they think was Eric the Red. So they found some at least 10,000 years old now, which means the Vikings had been here before even he found it. Or maybe that's why he came here, because he had been told that this mythical land existed. And for some reason, they don't look like, at least when you look at their villages, like they were messed with by the Indians much. I mean, the Vikings were hardy, but how many could they possibly be compared to Native Americans?
Yeah.
So you got to kind of wonder about those interactions.
And plus, wasn't the herds of buffalo, wasn't they like in the billions? There were
but that was on the other side of the country. That wasn't on this. They were on this side of the country. They were up in the Northeast somewhere.
In the Great Plains states.
Yeah. So they but still, all wildlife would have been plentiful here.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you this, guys. I heard that the Apache, their descendants come from Spain or Mexico. Is that true?
Well, it could be because the Toltecs, or let's just say this, the what do they call them? No, there's a name for the natives from back in the day, but anyway.
Aztec?
No, it's just a species. But there's a species name for it. But anyway, it doesn't really matter. Mesoamerican, sorry. So the Native Americans come from Mesoamericans. Mesoamericans come from South America. So what's funny about all this is the land bridge was up near Alaska.
Right.
So that means they came down Alaska, and instead of coming and spreading that into the country, they didn't. They kept going south until they got into Mexico and Central America and South America. Why? Why did they? Why? I mean, they just kept going. They never went off. It never went any further than they just went along, like I guess the California coast, and went down there.
There's a current that goes like that in the Pacific, and it goes from Japan across the land bridge, and it wasn't always land. It wasn't like a land all the way across. It was like,
well, it was when the ice age was
so
going
you could
on.
swim from island to island and make it anyway. But the Jomon people used like a convoy system, a lot of dugout canoes, and several families, or even like a tribe would take this route, and they just followed the current in the ocean, across the land bridge down Alaska, west coast of North, Central, South America, and right about the top of Peru, it turns sharp left and goes back up, and then hits Hawaii, Philippines, all the Southeast Asia islands, right back to Japan, and that's how they got together, and they interbred and traded.
Check this out. Eugenio says half of my family is from Mexico, and wow.
Mixteco and Zabteco in
But then most of my family look like Hindu Indian. Then I'm told Hindu Indian tribes lived in rural Osaka. Thank you for that, Eugenio. Thank you.
Cool.
But we know there was some group that came and just walked over here. They walked across during the Ice Age. We know that because they were tracking the mammoths and stuff, so they walked across the whole entire thing. But even they just went straight down. They didn't go out into the Americas. It wasn't until they came back up. So some of them came back up the West Coast, some of them came back up the Gulf Coast, and those are the ones that spread in. And even they didn't really spread into America. They spread in like where the Pueblos were and in California and places up north from there. They didn't get out east for even longer than that, if that's true. Now, the one of the newest things is because some of the skulls date back a little older than what they thought they should, and there's one group down there that has a different shaped skull, that there may have been a species that originated in that area and moved itself up and became the Native Americans. And later on, the species that crossed the land bridges just interbred with them. That's why they think there's those different skulls. They think that's the original inhabitants that are not actually related to the ones that came over the land bridge. Then, it does seem like there were different patches of people on the planet at one time, because let's say, we evolved in the plains in Africa from two parents. No, we didn't. We all know what happens when you interbreed. It's just not a good thing. And with two parents, there would have been seriously amount of interbreeding going on. So
would be a
that's not true
if we did it that way.
So there must have been just other ones popping up here and there. I would imagine that life, just like ideas, just popped up in different places. We know there was what was it? There was Cro-Magnon, Neanderthal. There was two other ones that existed at the time.
Homo heidelbergensis, Homo erectus, Homo sapiens.
So all of these we're talking about probably somewhere along the line interbred with each other and created the ones that are healthy today. The society that's here today. Well, we're not getting into the alien theories. We're just talking about regular evolution. But that's probably how this race came to be. But we didn't just come from one group, because it just wouldn't have been viable. Mm-hmm. Well, they say in order to have a population of 8 billion, you had to have a population of 4,000 minimum. To have enough diversity.
You don't even need to look at it like that. I've always said, the Garden of Eden, the gods of the Anunnaki, they wanted slaves to do the work because the work was too toilsome for them, and they were dying and hurting themselves. Well, they weren't just getting gold out of Africa. They were in South America. They were in North America. They were in Asia, Europe. They were all over the planet getting the materials they needed. And so, therefore, if you're in the mountains, say in Asia, you don't bring a monkey from the seashore to do the work up there. He'd run out of breath. He would die within days of the type of work. So you would have to make the type of workers you need in the region that the work is being done. So that's why there's so many diverse people on this planet. They had so many projects going on that they had to make creatures used to the conditions where the work is being done. You just can't get around that. So there's several Gardens of Eden. There's not just one of them.
Yeah, it's what's that, Christopher? No, I mean, when you get into evolution stuff, it gets a little weird, but we learn quickly that it's not what we originally were taught. We're going to be playing. Well, we're gonna take a break here for about 3 minutes.
Sorry,
you need a song for a break. I got one.
Well, no, I got one right here, but it's it's. What's that, Jeffrey? No. No, actually, you know what? Kimmy sent me that one earlier. The Mark Walking in Memphis. I like Walking in Memphis, but I think because it's kind of one of those nights I'm going to play the O Fortuna, but I'm going to play the Excalibur version. And we're not going to play it all, just some of it. It's 7
Carmina
minutes long.
Burana. Horrible.
No, Jimmy. No. Actually, Jay gets it right every time. I butcher it every time I say it. I mean, every time I say it, I butcher the living shit out of it. But anyway, let me grab this right quick, and we're gonna go take a break, and y'all can all go run and get some popcorn, get some munchies, or have a drink or smoke some weed, whatever y'all do these days. I don't judge. Life is too short to be judging people. Oh yes, and well, I want all my friends to be healthy. I mean, we all got to go through tribulation sometimes and health issues and problems, and it's just good to know you got friends around, people who can be there for you or talk to with you. Or most of my friends, I say, leave me the fuck alone, but still, it's I'm a bastard when I'm sick. The only person I even can tolerate is Linda, and I can barely do that. So. No, only because I'm scared she'll get the knee shocker out and shock the living crap out of me. It's no, really, I'm playing with Joe now. But anyway, let me turn this on. We're going to take a break right quick. We will see all of y'all in about 5 minutes. Until then, enjoy the music. Have some fun. Picture the movie Excalibur, which will help because the video will be
Oh,
Whoa, what happened?
I guess he fat fingeritis struck again.
How long was that movie, Jay?
Oh, that's close to 3 hours, I think. It's a long movie.
I've seen it twice. That was a long, long time ago.
I've seen it a few times. It's a good movie.
Yeah. So tell me, who was the golden guy? Was that a child or what?
So the way I remember the legend, the sorceress, I can't remember her name, is actually the sister of King Arthur,
Right.
and she has sex with him. She tricks him into having sex with her. She gets pregnant,
You're not having
and
sex.
her son is
You gotta back up.
his brother, who comes back to kill him.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
King
we're
Arthur
talking.
was a bad dude, man.
Yeah, it's a really weird story too.
No, but he was a great guy, and he had to do some bad things. Well, his daddy did for sure. Uther Pendragon, he was
Yeah.
pretty nasty. You know,
God, I wish I was born a geek.
it's
Well, the original story was the father, Uther Pendragon, had Merlin change him into his rival king, look like the rival king, so he could have sex
so
with
he
his wife.
could go.
And then that child is Arthur
Oh.
Pendragon that becomes King Arthur.
Yeah,
Oh my
and
God.
Merlin had to come get the child from the guy because
Yeah.
yeah, he took it
Once
from
he
the
found out
king.
who the kid was, he was about to kill it.
Yeah, so then he came and got him and took him away and
I
gave him to
wonder
some
who
lonely
wrote that. Who wrote that movie?
King Arthur.
No, the movie he's talking about is John Borman. John Borman.
It's a good movie. It's a lot of fun to watch. It does a good spin on something we know that's not quite as true as it was. We're pretty sure that the King Arthur was a Roman. Not 100% sure, but it's looking pretty good that he was a Roman. Very handsome, very beautiful, and a lot of the story it rings true to the kind of person he was. As far as the sword goes, well, none of us were there to see that part.
Well, actually, King Arthur had two swords. I forget what his sword did, but Excalibur could like almost cut anything. But he also had his sword had a scabbard that when he wore the scabbard, he could not be injured. But at some point in one battle, he lost the scabbard and like was nearly killed.
You gotta die sooner or later. Legends can't live forever. Well, I guess in the future they can be. Mark Johnson, I haven't seen you in a while, man. So, how is the whole you call Portland? Is it nice out there again? People are acting normal again. I know y'all were not like Seattle, so I'm not gonna give you trouble. But how is it out there? Cold, snowy, rainy? Huh? Yeah, it figures. I was talking to somebody in Seattle yesterday. It says it's raining. It doesn't surprise me. It's like down here, it rains all freaking time. Well, it rains more in Louisiana than it does on the coast, but it still rains a lot. Yes, and yes. No, I'm all for Pam to win. I want her to see her take the prize. I want to see her become the attorney general because I think she is going to stick her foot so far up people's ass it's going to take a surgeon to get it out of it. And I think Hillary may actually find her ass in a world of shit.
Yeah.
Oh no, she's going after the Russia. Oh no, she already said it. She's going to assign at least 3 special investigators to go after this. So Hillary, it's a good thing you turned lesbian over the last few years because it'll serve you well here soon. But you can bring Humadine with you, baby, or Cheryl, and y'all could have like a menage a trois and prison.
Yeah, but well, you got what's hot. Her nickname is Killary. So
it is Hillary.
Hillary Clinton.
Hillary and on the attorney general is not a good idea. Because let's remember, this attorney general's friends will be the head of the CIA and the head of the NSA. Not good people to get on their bad side. Just saying. Sean, I'm going to auction Sean off this Christmas. Yes.
Yeah.
So, ladies, get your money together, and when we have 20 participants, we're going to auction a date with Sean. What do you mean? No, we're going to donate the money to Sean and I. What the hell are you talking about? Okay, we'll donate it. We'll donate it to special interest group. Yeah, there we go. Yes, like protect UPR. How you like that? Okay.
There you go.
No, but seriously now, ladies, seriously, on New Year's Eve, we're gonna auction off Sean. No cheap bids. We're gonna have to have a what do you call it? A reserve. Yes, we'll have to have reserve price. No. I don't know. I'll talk with Sean with the reserves. I'm thinking at least $1,000 though.
Yeah.
I don't think you should sell for less than 10. I really, and that's if you only want to take him to dinner. I mean, if you want him more than that, we're talking 30.
Yeah.
Yes. She ain't no cheap date, ladies. Look, just remember, this is the new world where women are out there buying stuff, taking care of their man, taking them to dinner and stuff, buying
Yeah.
new clothes and stuff. This is the new world. Y'all created this world, so don't bitch at me about it.
You know, that's what really, really pissed me off a while back. When I'd go out to a restaurant eating dinner and I see the women paying for the guy's meal, and I'm thinking, no, that's not how it works.
But that's how it should work now.
Now it does, but back then I had a problem with it.
And I can understand it because I did too. I still, even today, don't like not paying for dinner. It's
Right.
or I still open car doors. I still open doors.
Yes.
Have I ever had a
But
door
then
open for me?
there's some women out there that get jealous because their husband opens up the door for
That's
other
true.
women.
Actually, Denise, no, I've actually had women hold the door for me before. I've actually had men hold the door for me before. In the South, it's different. It's not like it is up north. The people are not just rude down here. We actually respect each other and we enjoy life. You know what it is? Because we do have to deal with hurricanes, just people who live on the coast. But other than that, there's not much to deal with down here. If you live 50 miles inland, your life is just nothing. Every now and then might be a tornado, but it's rare. You get some rain now and then. That's it. There's no earthquakes. There's no tornadoes. There's no volcanoes. There's no hurricanes. It's just nice, peaceful, quiet. In the summertime, you can go out in the Gulf or any pool. The water's going to be at least 86, 87, 88 degrees. So you don't even need a heated pool. You can go out and enjoy it. Of course, it's salt water. You're more buoyant, so you can float better around in the nice warm water. Just don't get shark eaten or something. But
or alligator.
Or an alligator. That's true too. But it is a different life. It's I've been all over the country, and I've not spent a lot of time up north, and it's just people are just ruder. Not because they're in more of a hurry. Go to Atlanta. Everybody and their mom is in a hurry in Atlanta, and they still will stop and open a door for you.
Yep.
That's the difference. Yeah, because they're speeding along at warp speed. Atlanta's one of the most busiest cities in the United States.
Atlanta Beltway at rush hour, they're doing 85, 90 miles an hour, bumper to bumper. I mean, that's precision driving. It's scary as hell.
They're because they're Southerners, they enjoy their life more. South looks at the world differently. We're not just here to work our lives away, run our lives away. Frankly, a lot of them would rather be middle class or lower and enjoy their life than just be chasing the dollar until they die. Can't take it with you.
Yeah.
And as long as you're happy, what the fuck does it matter about anything else?
Exactly. Because like I keep thinking, you're a billionaire today, and then you're going to end up with nothing when you die. You're in this coffin or hole.
Well, I've been lucky a few times in my life, and I've had pretty good money in the bank, and I've been poor. Shit, I've been poor. I had to eat freaking waffles for dinner for 4 days and shit. It's or macaroni and cheese or something. But the thing of it is,
noodles, buddy.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Macaroni and cheese, though, that's good. I will never give that stuff. That stuff kept me alive in college.
I know, huh? It kept me alive when I got out of the Navy, I'll tell you that much. But
it's one of the cheapest meals you can get.
What is that, Mike? No, it's just you gotta. It's life is like that. I mean, you might have it this day, you might not have it that day. Well, it was different for me. For Katrina, I shouldn't even tell you this, but for Katrina, um, from Katrina until COVID, I'd racked up. I'd put about 300 grand in the bank. Thanks to COVID and Joe Biden, that no longer exists. Oh no!
Did
When
they
I say
find Fauci yet? Have they found him?
found what?
Fauci.
I don't know where Fauci's in China, man. With his
I know
15
what's his
Chinese
name.
wives.
Rand Paul wants his ass. Not Rand
Hopefully they'll
Paul.
track it down. Oh, Kennedy?
Not Kennedy. Who's the one?
I know Kennedy wants him. Kennedy wants to put him in jail. I don't know if he can or not, but because that's who's in charge.
Also Rand Paul.
It might be. I mean, because Kennedy's running the Department of Health now.
Health and Human Services. Yeah,
he will be running the Department of Health. And it's great when you see that picture of the girl running it today and him. I mean, she's just an old fat lady who's just old fat lady, and he's an old guy, but he's healthy looking. He's in good shape. He's muscular. It's a big difference. He actually believes in health, whereas she believes in sitting down and stuffing her face. Obviously, and so he's older than she is, and he's still in better shape than she is. Well, I think Department of Homeland Health. I mean, if you're in charge of health, you should at least kind of look healthy. I mean, it's like an oxymoron. It's like saying, "Oh well, do as I say, not as I do." Well, fuck you. No. If you want me to do that, I want to see you doing it. Yeah, give me a reason to go out there.
I mean, think about it. You can't have the Surgeon General with a stoma and one of those electronic voice boxes. Oh, you shouldn't smoke. That doesn't look right.
Oh no, Chris, we're gonna get back to some. Hold on, I got some more down here. What did I do with them? I got sidetracked. Shut up. Let's see. Russian economy is driven by the war in the Ukraine that it cannot afford to either win or lose. Why is that? If it wins it,
went all in.
If they win it, their economy crashes. If they lose it, their economy crashes.
Yeah.
So, see, this actually helps Trump, though. So, whereas Russia's going to want all this territory, Trump can say no, because we know what's going to happen to your economy. So, we can offer you something else, a way to help you stabilize your economy. Maybe we'll buy up your excess oil and gas and we will resell it to everybody else. But we don't want them selling anything to Europe anymore. We can't afford to get Europe relying on gas from Russia. Just if we go to war, then they're cut off, and what are they going to do? Sit there and get bombed into the fucking Stone Age? So it takes fuel to fly jets and move tanks, and so we don't want to rely on that. Trump's going to put them back relying on the United States again. And what European prefers anyway, because our natural gas for some reason is cheaper than the Russians, which makes no sense since Russia's much closer. The Pacific Ocean's fucking big. Oh, no, that's the Atlantic Ocean. Never mind. It's not as big as the Pacific. No, Pacific's big.
Yeah, but the Atlantic is still big. I mean,
well, it's still big. It's still a couple of days crossing, even with a ship. Well, no, it's not like it was when they were using sail and it took a month to cross the ocean. No, they can cross in 3 or 4 days. Depending on the ship, depending on the ship, they can cross it a little faster.
Hell, you can be in the Atlantic Ocean, go through the Straits of Gibraltar, and be in the Med in like about 8-9 hours.
Let's see.
On the Nimitz, yeah.
No, I was on the Independence.
Well, Independence is pretty fast.
On a military ship is what I'm saying.
So
a civilian ship isn't going to go that fast.
Judge, you ever go through the Straits of Gibraltar?
No, we never got. So the Nimitz was, how can I say this nicely? Was just a pain in the ass. So like Hawaii, we sailed past it. Hi Hawaii, bye Hawaii.
Yeah.
So we do a sweep around. We're coming around the backside of Europe and all. And we're getting ready to dock somewhere, and I think it was in Madrid. But so the captain comes on and says, "Okay," because we'd launched all of our planes off. Well, generally when we take the planes off the boat, we're staying for a couple of days.
Yeah.
So boom, he says, "Okay, y'all gonna have 3-day leaves." We're like, "Yeah," because we'd been on the ship for like 4 months. Everybody was ready for leave, and so they're getting ready to depart, and he comes back on and says, "No, prepare for departure. We're going to the Middle East." And son of a bitch, I mean, nobody was even packed yet. So of course we had to start bringing in jets and putting them in. So we immediately depart. So we're cruising along, and then we got stand down orders, like 12 hours after we got the stand up orders. and we, I think they docked in was it Venice? No, it wasn't Venice. You know, it was somewhere over there. And we got 4 days to run around. But where they docked wasn't a typical Navy base, because you could tell not many people around it spoke English. They mostly spoke Italian or Greek, and not many of us spoke Italian or Greek, so it kind of made it hard to, you're like, oh, what did you speak English, asshole? English. No, speak no English. And I mean, all together, I probably saw 35 countries, but I hate to say it like that, because I mean, those are legit where I put my feet down. If I say how many I saw as we were driving by, it'd be more than that. Because Nimitz could haul ass, man. I'd fall asleep thinking, okay, we'd be going by Turkey or somewhere, and all of a sudden, we way down at the bottom, and we weren't even supposed to be in the Atlantic. We used to get in trouble for being in the Atlantic. I don't know what they were doing, because we were Westpac. And every now and then you see us.
So you were a West Coast sailor, right?
We were Westpac. Yeah, that's what we were.
Okay, I was East Coast. Yeah. All right.
But every once in a while, we'd catch ourselves on duty somewhere in the Atlantic, or it's just every once in a while. I remember one time, Captain was laughing because they told him, "Oh, you're going to have to go through Panama," and he said, "What? Ship ain't going to fit in Panama. Ain't no fucking way that ship's fitting.
Panama Canal, buddy."
No way. Yeah, no way the Nimitz was fitting in the Panama Canal. He's like, it ain't gonna happen. So they got in a big argument about it, and they said, "You're gonna do it." He said, "I'm not gonna do anything because it won't fit. I know it because he used to be a captain of a different ship, and he said, I know what the size is and what it can take, and it can't take this big fucking ship." And they got the big old thing, and then we had a Commodore come on board, and he was going to guide us through because he was a pro at this. This shit was just getting funny. And so we set sail. And I remember Panama, people got on, no, come through here. No, it won't fit. Freaking.
Well, I'll tell you what. When we went through the Suez Canal, right?
Mm-hmm.
That was a trip.
Yeah,
but they brought one of them captains on board that drove the carrier. I mean, it was so it was so small at some points that all you had to do was jump off the flight deck and you'd be in sand, And I mean, that was the best. That was the best trip, going down through the Panama, at Suez, and coming up through the Panama. That was something. And the Panama, let me tell you this, guys. You had to pee in buckets, dude. You were not allowed to release your CHT systems in that Panama Canal. No. So they had buckets out everywhere.
I wanted to go through. I wanted to see what it looked like, but they're like, nope, going around.
Beautiful.
And it sucked having to steam around. I was like, what? Of course, we were a nuclear carrier, so steaming around wasn't that big of a deal. And they always lied about how fast it would go. I was like, because it was officially only listed at 35 knots. And I'm like, 35 knots. So I do the math and see how long it takes us to get from this point to that point. Well, that's not 35 knots. That's more like 65 knots. That's a little bit faster than what you would think. What's that, Marsha? 65 knots would be like 75 miles an hour.
No, I think it's more than that. Hey, Google.
Well, it's like, is it 1.5 or something?
Sorry, I didn't understand.
How fast is 60 knots in miles per hour?
60 knots is 69.047 miles per hour.
Less. Yeah, you're about right.
Yeah, because it's like 1.25 knot or 1 point. I don't know, somewhere up in there anyway.
Yeah.
Actually,
but you also in the Navy, you measure a mile at 6,000 feet rather than with the 5,400 and whatever.
Yeah, it's all of
Joe
it's
Walker.
different. What's it, Frankie? On the Nimitz. Oh, I did a couple jobs on Nimitz, but when I was assigned to the Nimitz, I was classified special forces. That's what my job was. And then we were waiting for assignment, and we were going to be waiting for, I think the commander told us, like 5 months. So I remember I was on a flight deck doing something, and the deck commander came up and said, "What is your MOS?" And I told him. He said, "Did you have any school?" And I said, "Yeah." I told him what I went for school. He said, "Well, you need to come work on a flight deck with us." So he put me on a flight deck working with the guy, and after a month, he made me a plane captain. The plane captain's in charge of the deck. Everything that goes on the deck, even the pilots have to listen to the deck captain. Doesn't matter who you are, I'm in control, or whoever it is in control of everything that happens on that deck. From the catapult operations to the launching of the jet, the whole 9 yards. It's a great job. Most dangerous job in a fucking place, too. It was great. I loved it like you wouldn't believe. And then I was out there one afternoon, and we had a issue with a missile on an F-14 Tomcat or F-18 Hornet actually. And I went over there and I was looking at it, and I popped up the side and looked at the board and fixed it in about 9 minutes. And I remember my commander came over and he said, "You got a background in electronics?" I said, "I got degrees in avionics and advanced avionics and advanced electronics." He's like, "What?" He said, "Well, we got something in the tower that needs to be fixed." He said, "We've been having a problem getting anybody to fix it." I went up and fixed it in 15 minutes. That was the dumbest thing I ever done, because I got promoted from enlisted to an officer. I went from an E4, which is a third class petty officer, to a lieutenant junior grade, which was only for like 6 weeks. They promoted me to a lieutenant, and because you couldn't be in the conning tower without being an officer, at least in the places I had to be, especially when I had to go into the reactor room to work, and it was insane. And that's all I did anymore was work on electronics on board the ship. I didn't get to go out on flight decks anymore unless I was going out to just hang out. I was pissed, man. I was pissed. Even though, look, I mean, it was a big promotion.
Yeah,
It
a
was
lot of
good
extra money
money.
too. You went from E4 to what, like G1
Yeah,
or something like that?
yeah. So, and then we got hazardous pay because we were on the deck. But what was funny is when I was working as a plane captain, hazardous pay was as good as probably a um, not a lieutenant,
JG.
no, a little bit higher than that, a little higher than lieutenant, whatever's up next up from a lieutenant. A lieutenant commander. Yeah, a lieutenant commander. That's what my hazard pay was, plus my E4 pay, which wasn't that horrible either. But yeah, you got really good hazardous pay, and then you also got carrier pay. You get like 5 different kind of pays you got. So it's actually pretty decent when you're out at sea. Now, when you weren't out at sea and you were at home, I mean, third class petty officers don't make shit. I think back then it was like $900 a month or something. It might have been a little bit more. It might have been a little bit less, to be honest. I don't really remember. It's a long time ago. Well, no. See, once I made lieutenant, they were like, "Well, I thought about re-upping because as a lieutenant, I would have easily made lieutenant commander within 2 or 3 years at that time." So I had a great time, but I didn't, because when I went in for action and duty, and then now I just became a tech. Well, getting a command spot when you're a tech is not an easy thing to do. No, because you're not, even though I had command officer status, because on my things it said I had great leadership ability, but when you're a tech, you're a tech, and they don't like. It's so hard for them to get really good techs. They don't like them going anywhere but there. That's what they want them to stay as. Oh, they'll give you your ranks and keep moving you up the ladder and give you way more money, but they don't want you. They don't want you doing anything but that. They may give you command of the division of the the nerds, but that's what they want you doing. And they're boss. Wasn't Nimitz scary? What do you mean it was scary? The only time it was even weird, we were going to meet two other carriers somewhere, and two F4 Phantoms that we had given to, I think, the Saudis. I think that's who it was. Buzzed over the top of the USS Enterprise. We got immediate orders to start heading towards the Middle East.
Yeah, well, that wasn't good. No.
Yeah.
The thing that we came close to was when we were duking it out with Syria at the time. That's when I was in, and they launched off 2 squadrons of their planes, and we just launched off one squadron, which is about 9 planes, or 14 Tomcats, and they turned around and went home.
But yeah, because them little kiddies going to kick their ass.
But I'll tell you what was amazing, though. In our last cruise, we had 26 ships and 3 submarines with us. And we had a threat. And all of a sudden, okay, you're out in the middle of the ocean. You don't see another ship around. And then all of a sudden, you see about 12 of them just surround you like that. And I was like, holy crap. I said, where did they come from? Oh, it was crazy, man.
No, yeah,
and then, real quick, and then I guess get back to what you got to do. But whenever we refueled at sea, okay, Russian ships would come in between our ship and the oiler or the oiler tanker or whatever, and we'd have to break the lines. You know what I mean? So,
yeah. Well, the reason they did that was
it wasn't. They just did it to do it.
Well, so on a few dozen times when we were refueling, so we'd be out there refueling, we'd be bringing cargo up back and forth, right?
Mm-hmm.
All of a sudden, you'd be crossing one of the boards. You'd look down, and what do you see down there? But a submarine sitting right in between, all nice and quiet, door open, taking in cargo.
Yep.
And they were, well, no, Jimmy, they're not all nuclear powered. Believe it or not, some of them are still diesel powered. And back then, there were quite a few of them that were diesel powered. And they were taking in fuel, they were taking in cargo, and they were nice and snug in. So there was no way you're going to see them from above. Not the way the ships were set up. And I used to wonder why, because when I was on a ship, and when we did cargo runs, it was quite a bit of distance between the two ships. But when we did it on Nimitz, there was no more than, well, just about enough distance for that submarine to get in there. And I'm talking, they get just one little wiggle, and they would have been bumping into us. But they'd just be cruising along. And all of a sudden, you'd be walking along, and poof, the bitches be going. You're like, where'd they go? They gone, buddy. Yep. Don't hear nothing, don't see nothing. Well, generally, a carrier group's going to have 4 submarines with it. There'll be 3 attack class and probably 1 nuclear.
1 boomer, yeah. 1 boomer, 3 fast.
Yeah. And let me tell you what, if there's a torpedo going to a carrier and they can't shoot it, they will sacrifice themselves and throw themselves in front of son of a bitch.
That's their
Not
job.
just them. Any ship in the fleet will. It doesn't matter who they are.
My brother was on a destroyer, and that was their job. That they were supposed to take the bomb or the torpedo for us. That was their job.
Yeah, that's the reason carrier groups. Because people always think it's just about firepower, but it's not always about.
Oh
firepower.
no, 26 in mine.
So their job is to make sure that carrier stays safe. And once that carrier gets planes in the air, it's pretty much you're gonna wish you didn't come screwing with it. But it was amazing to watch the Nimitz put all their ships up. Oh man, it was insane.
It was great. Insane. I loved it.
And you'd see them just come over to like 3 layers of them coming over to carry. You're like, son of a bitch, man. And low enough to make it rumble on the carrier. It was great. I loved it. It's high octane stuff.
Man,
I'm telling you what, if they wouldn't have took me up the flight lift, I'd have probably stayed in.
You know, Sal, but you know what? Honestly, I wish everybody could get the opportunity to spend 2 days out at sea on a carrier and just see how it works. Because
I'd do it in a heartbeat.
It's great, man.
It gives you a different idea of what we're expecting from 18 and 19-year-old kids. It's insane the things we expect.
You're right, Joe. You're right.
It is, and how much money they spend on these kids. Vladimir Putin sends UK blood-curdling warning after Ukraine uses British-made missiles. She was talking about those missiles earlier. There we go.
So what was the blood-curdling warning?
It was, "I will come for your children and murder them all."
No, I'm sure he used some choice select words.
That's Vladimir Putin has threatened to bomb the UK after the Ukraine used British.
Yeah, but that means if he bombs England, then damn, we're in it.
World War III begins.
Actually, so I was thinking about this the other day. With President Trump, even though the Ukraine is very good allies, the current leadership doesn't really like Trump. And I was to think if they used a tactical nuke on London, I don't know if the United States would step in or not. I think he would expect the EU to step up. Because, still in all, even though Britain's not a member of the EU anymore.
England's one of our closest allies in almost everything from
it's the motherland.
Forward. Yeah, and if Biden doesn't do anything, if he nukes England, especially London, I think Congress would push to get him out of there and put someone who's going to launch nukes.
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I don't know if Trump would actually launch a nuke. I think he would talk to Europe about a proper invasion of Russia to remove Vladimir from office. But launching more nukes, you got to remember, England's not going to phase us. But if we start dropping nukes on Russia, we share trade moves with Russia and China. So any nuke on them is a nuke on us. And it's hard to make people understand that sometimes, but any nuke on them is nuking us. It just doesn't work that way. And ladies and gentlemen, if you don't believe me, just think about a few years back. Every few years, China gets this red dust kicks up from its desert, and it gets all over the United States from the west coast to the east coast, from the north to the south. It's just this red, nasty dust. So if that was radiation, guess what? All that radiation would have just been dumped right back on top of us. With Russia, it's a little bit higher, so the South would really feel the radiation from Russia, but the North would, and so would Canada. So you can't. There's no nuking them without affecting us. What's that, Jimmy? Yeah, Southerners probably wouldn't care if China. New York got wiped out. No, I'm just kidding. We love our New York friends. But see, that's the problem, and Russia's the same problem for Russia. Okay, we're going to nuke the Ukraine. Well, what does that mean? Doesn't the wind blow that way? So all that radiation is going to go back into Russia.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the Russian people are going to get really pissed then. I don't know, and he knows that he can't be that stupid. The other problem is there's been rumors of attempted coups or almost attempted coups. It's send Kamala over there. She'll teach him how to do a coup.
Yeah.
She would teach him how to crackle.
No, that yeah. Putin called that an infectious laugh. Okay, what is this one? Alien signal or not? What is the alien signal or not? That don't look like an alien. That looks like a freaking Russia. Okay, and what does this look like? I hate when they do just clickbait shit. Anyway, so somewhere on here, there's a signal to listen to if it would show us to us. Okay, hold on. We might have found it. Let's see. Maybe. Carly, you mean Epstein? Oh, no, you mean Diddy. Oh, we can talk a little bit about that in a minute.
Oh, God.
Diddy is...
he's fucked. Pardon my French.
Yeah, I think a lot of other people...
That's like 5 times he said that tonight. Damn.
I know, he's so bad. I'm going to tell Jay's girlfriend to spank him.
Yeah.
Where's that cuss jar? Oh, man, Joe, we'd be out drinking.
I know, huh?
You'll be having steaks, yeah.
What's that, Steven? Why does only Jay have to pay? Because Jay's bad. Sean and I are sweet and innocent and kind. Like we don't do stuff like that.
We were in the Navy.
That's right. We don't cuss. People from the Navy don't cuss. Yes.
No, not at all.
Yes. And if you believe that, Jay and Sean and I got some land to sell you. Very pretty land. It's a couple $1 million, but it's well worth it. It doesn't flood. No, it doesn't flood.
No, in fact, it's a bridge right across the Brooklyn expanse there up in the.
Well, I was going to say it doesn't flood because it's already underwater, but hey, you don't have to tell them that until after you sell them the property. Yeah, you go pump it out like everybody else does down here. Well, anyway, let me get back to what I was doing. Getting all sidetracked and shit.
Hey guys, I got to get going in about 10 minutes.
Yeah, well, we're wrapping up at 12. So
yeah,
we're gonna be wrapping up at 12. We're gonna play this right quick though. Now shut up, dude, until we put you on the cue thingy. Alien or not? I guess we're gonna find out. Hold on. Okay. Mamas, don't let your babies grow up to be Democrats. That could be bad. Or maybe we should say progressives. Yes, here we go. Play this. I don't hear nothing.
Sky Eye telescope could have picked up trace radio communications from intelligent aliens, but it turns out it may have just been a case of mixed signals.
Well, really?
So on June the 14th, Chinese astronomers came out with claims that while they were using China's gigantic 500-meter aperture FAST or Sky Eye telescope, they picked up 3 signals which they think could have come from intelligent aliens, 1 in 2019 and 2 in 2022. Now, narrowband radio signals aren't usually produced by nature, but humans use them a lot in satellites, TVs, cell phones, radar. So when scientists see them coming from space, they think there's a possibility that there could be some form of intelligent life form that may have been sending them. Maybe we were just sent an intergalactic "what you up to," or we intercepted some alien daytime TV. Either way, there's a possibility when we see narrowband signals that it comes from intelligent life. The story quickly started making headlines around the world and appearing all over social media before Dan Wertheimer, an American SETI, or Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligence scientist, who worked closely with the Chinese scientists in finding the signals, came out to say that they were almost certainly not from aliens, but from human technology instead. But how can Wertheimer know for sure? Well, Wertheimer said to us that the big problem with the gigantic radio telescopes that scientists use to intercept all of these radio signals is that they're so sensitive, they can measure radio signals that are beamed from Earth from light years away. And that may be amazing for finding things from distance, but it means that they're also incredibly susceptible to the zillions of homegrown signals that we produce every second. Now, some of these signals, even to a trained scientist, could fool them and appear like they genuinely came from deep space.
So we're in debunker mode again.
Errant signals, RFIs, or radio frequency interference. And Wertheimer says that if you haven't been studying them for that long, then it means that you're much more likely to get hoodwinked by a subtle interference effect. Despite the error having spread around the world, the scientists need not feel too embarrassed. This recent false alarm is far from the first time that alien hunting scientists have been.
No, there we go. Another debunker. That's another one debunked. Well, it's true now. Moon mass drive is a groundbreaking tech that could make Mars colonization a reality.
Okay, let's back on Mars again.
Yeah.
Well, because we're going to be living on Mars soon. When you come back in your next life, that's where you'll be living on Mars.
Joe, you know as well as I know that Mars don't exist.
Well, you better hope it does, because that's where you're going to be living next time.
That all depends on if your buddy Elon doesn't go all Drax on us and, declare himself ultimate galactic emperor and try to kill off the rest of us.
Yeah, I made a deal with Elon Musk and David Miscavige. That should be okay. I can't speak for the rest of you poor slobs, but I'm gonna be okay. What's that, Brittany? Bigelow Aerospace? Yeah, Bigelow's interesting, but he said he thinks he saw a UFO when he was a kid, or his parents did, or somebody did. The CIA was. Oh, see, this is why you can't never get these documents. The CIA was directly involved in the assassination of who?
JFK.
Who?
Kennedy.
JFK. Oswald was a patsy. Oh, we didn't know that. The accusations made by Jim Garrison, the investigating attorney. So Jim Garrison was from New Orleans, and this guy really knew his shit. And he said from day one that the way they said it went down was not the way it went down. A new study suggests aliens aren't little green men; they're purple people eaters.
Seriously? Oh my
Is
god!
that serious? Come on, that's got to be clickbait.
It's from Popular Mechanics, no less. Popular Mechanics. I don't even know what to think about with you. I'm just look. Anything in the universe can be anything it wants to be. It is, after all, the universe, and it has the ability to do it. No, we got 7 minutes. Why? What you got? You want to do what? You might go to Dragon Con this year, probably. Why? Actually, I was invited to an investigation this spring at Gettysburg, so I might be up there.
Who you going with, Joe?
Some asshole TV company. It's they're from Discovery.
Oh hell, me and Jay can go up. I'll meet Jay at where he lives, and we'll drive up.
Yeah, Gettysburg's 30 minutes from here.
Y'all can come down and hang out. Well, I've been wanting to take the station out there, and I told this to Michelle about 2 years ago. I've been wanting to bring the station down there, or some representations of the station, and do a real investigation from the station. A pay-for-view investigation.
I'm game. I'm game.
You know, if we're doing it in Gettysburg, it's 30 minutes away.
I'm jealous. I'm jealous of that, Jay. I am.
Sean be down there all the time chasing ghosties.
You know, 3 hours isn't that bad of a drive.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it is.
Now, see, I like to drive. So if it's under 10 hours, to me, it's not a real
Pennsylvania Turnpike too that you got to get on for part of that, and that road is so damn bumpy. Are they still using the tan concrete on that shit?
Yeah.
Oh God.
But you know what? What I usually do is get on in Monroeville, get off at Breezewood, take 30 east all the way in.
I love Breezewood.
Yeah.
That one truck stop had the coolest gift shop ever. I got the coolest stuff there all the time. Every time I went there, I got something cool.
But, you know, I would pay like $8 or $9 about 10, 15 years ago from Monroeville to Breezewood. Now you're paying like $26 freaking dollars, dude.
Jeez.
You know? But you don't have to pay at the gate. They take a picture of your license. And then
I hate that shit because I get
take a ticket though. Because I remember when we used to go to Ohio, my dad had to, like, when he got on the turnpike, he had to take a ticket, and then when we got off at the other end on Ohio, he had to give it to the and they would see how, you know, when we got on and when we're getting off, and that's how much he'd have to pay. They still do it that way?
No, everything's done by cameras. You go through the toll booth. And they take a picture of your license, and then they bill you.
Yeah, I owe Florida like $35.
Yeah.
I'm like, fuck you, Florida. It's like that stupid thing. What's your name?
Yeah.
What's that, Chris? You never seen anything where the two dogs are screaming, "What's your name? My name's Tony. Fuck you, asshole." Come on, stop cursing. You're so bad to me. God.
Yeah, Jay, what you did to Joe?
I didn't even do that one.
No, that was Jay's fault. It's all Jay's fault. I agree. It is. It's Jay's fault. Y'all got like 4 minutes. What kind of questions you got? Do I think they lied at the? Oh, you mean at this November 13th hearing? Yeah, I think they're full of shit.
Oh yeah.
I think that it was a waste of like 5 hours of my time to watch this twice.
It was a waste of how many thousands of our taxpayer dollars they used to hold that hearing.
It's a shame that, to me, here First off, we're going to bring an author on as a witness. Okay. Have you had personal first-hand knowledge? No. You have not? Well, fuck you. No, really, fuck you. I'm tired of this. So you can't get one. Oh, I'm a whistleblower. Whistleblower. Bullshit. Did you see it firsthand? No, well, you're not a fucking whistleblower.
Yeah, Lou Elizondo's allegedly a whistleblower. He didn't whistleblow shit. He didn't say anything new. The only thing I said that was of benefit was they got some new military signal and telemetry data from the fighter pilots' cockpit recordings, and that's filed as evidence in that particular congressional hearing. But is any action going to come from it? Probably not.
What's that, Stacy? I'm getting meaner. Well, look, that's y'all's fault. Everybody's like, Joe, you're too nice. We liked you better when you were mean. We liked you better when you were an asshole. And now I'm an asshole. Everybody's like, no, go back to the old. No, it's too fucking late now. It's on.
We got 3 minutes.
You don't let the dragon out of the box. You don't effed up. No, you should have left the dragon in the box. He would have been fine. It's like the emperor said. You should have just left him alone. No, you had to go screw with him, though, didn't you? Yes, you did. You just had to go screw with him. But anyway, any more questions before we get out of here? I think Donald Trump is going to do a good job. I really do.
We're probably going to have a good economy, but even he said it's going to take probably 12, 13, 14 months before we see any real results.
Do we think Nancy Pelosi is going to go to jail? We can only fucking hope, man. I mean,
charges like you brought up on her. What does she go to jail? That's another thing.
I mean, let's be honest. I mean, we'd all have an orgasm if that shit happened.
Yeah,
it'd be like, well,
it'd be a jubilation.
Oh no! So I'm glad you brought that up. So real quick before we get out of here, because I don't want to turn this into a big thing tonight. We'll have to talk about it again next week. Oh, we have John Goodman on next week. But anyway, so you bitches out there that are shaving your heads, fuck you. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So listen. I'm gonna be serious with y'all girls. So you're shaving your head. Well, we're not going to have sex. Well, we're actually glad you're not going to have sex. It means you're not reproducing into the population.
Yeah.
But you have made it fucking hard for every woman who has cancer, who has shaved her head. Shame the fuck on you. I'm going to say it again. Shame the fuck on you. I cannot believe you didn't even think about it.
Yeah.
No, I have personal friends that have cancer that I've gotten looked at or said something to. Oh, you one of them women never going to have sex? No, I got cancer, bitch. That's what somebody stage 3, stage 4 wants to hear from somebody. You have to turn around and defend yourself because you have fucking stage 4 cancer, right? That's what you want to do. That is fucking bullshit. Yep. These women should be apologizing every day and putting a fucking wig on their head and figuring out another way to do this. Mm-hmm. Oh, we're just going to shave our heads, wear blue bracelets, and not have sex for years. Like, I'm all happy you're not having sex. I said that earlier. Please don't reproduce. But put a wig on your head and stop embarrassing yourself and making it hard. There's a lot of women in our country got cancer. Don't ever fool yourself. I've lost many, many friends to cancer. Yeah. We've had on this network, we've had at least 6 hosts get cancer, at least 1 die from it. It's just not an easy thing to deal with. And we don't need to be making someone's life harder that has it. Oh no, I lost both parents to cancer. Oh yes, one at 16 and one much older, but still when I was 16. No, it's not anything anybody should have to deal with or live with.
Nope.
And if you have to, you need to have people around you who love you and respect you. And we don't need to be dealing with some crazy, stupid bitches who shave their fucking stupid heads because I'm an idiot. Yes, I did. I'm an idiot. So I'm just saying, look, respect everyone else in the country. It's not an easy thing to deal with. And you shouldn't be adding on to people's bullshit. Anyway, we're going to get out of here before I get really pissed off.
All right. Good show tonight, Joe. Everybody in Joe land on there. It was a pleasure. And don't forget, you're going to auction me off New Year's Eve. Start bids off at $1,000.
That's right. $1,000, and you better be damn sexy. We want no ugly bitches.
All right, guys, I gotta go.
We gotta go. So on that note, we're gonna get Jay. Y'all don't forget to come check out Jay and them on Friday nights. He's both with Church of Mavis and us, so be sure to check him out. Be sure to catch Sean on Tuesdays, and Sundays. Yes.
And
Well, no, see,
All
Sunday he
Monsters
does.
next
No,
Friday.
no, Colleen. No, on Sundays he does his Chippendale thing. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Tuesday he's very serious, but on Sundays he's like,
He's
I'm just telling you, lady.
impeccable brass
Why you
work.
think we auctioned the man? Jesus. Oh, what are we gonna do with y'all? No, Jay's practically married these days. His wife is not gonna let me auction him off. I mean, his girlfriend. She's not gonna let me wife anymore. She's gonna be like, no, baby, you have to stay here with me and the kitty cat.
And the dog. Yep.
Yes. No, you pervert. I was talking about he's got a black cat. Oh my God, you're a pervert.
Two black cats and 2 orange cats and 1 black and tan dog. There's a black and orange thing going throughout the house.
Oh my God, they got a theme going on. What can you say? See, that's what happens when you're almost married.
What are they called for Halloween? Black cats and orange pumpkins. I got them both.
What do you mean he's so unmarriable? Yes, he's marriable, but you get first. You gotta win him into auction first.
Yeah.
And then you can take him out. Take him out to dinner. Wine and dining. Get him a good massage.
To where you're at.
Yeah. But you can fly to him, or he can fly to you. He'd rather fly to you though, because he lives in Pennsylvania. You need a break from Pennsylvania every once in a while. It's cold, nasty, and dirty up there. It's anyway, we gotta go. On that note, I want to thank everyone for tuning in to United Public Radio News and Flipside. I hope everyone is having a good life. Again, I'm gonna say this. I feel for my friends who are liberals and Democrats. I know y'all are losing your mind and you're crying and spitting, but it will get better. And for all the people who voted for Trump,
hurt now, but when your prices go down, you'll be loving it.
You'll be like, everybody voted for Trump. Thumbs up. Hopefully, he'll do what he says he's going to do. And if he does, even the Democrats will be happy.
Yeah.
Even the Democrats will be happy. On that note, good night. Oh, one more last thing. Any moans, groans, bitches, gripes, or complaints, please write. Courtesy, Michelle DeRoche. She loves to hear from y'all. She says all the time, "Oh, I wish more people wrote to me." Yes, she does. So on that note, good night, and thank you for tuning in to United Public Radio and News on the Flip Side. And I will see y'all tomorrow. And these guys will see y'all next week. Good night, everybody.
Good night, guys. Good night.